Oh my gosh, we're here. Hi, welcome to Plus One EXP. I'm Sarah, your real life stepdad and a cult leader here at Plus One. We're a weird little brand that multi classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. The dream and hope here at Plus One is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. Today, we are here for the last part of our Defy the Gods actual play. Woo! We're going to go ahead and go around and introduce the faces that you probably know by now. And if you don't, what? We're going to start with Chrys, the designer, one of the co-designers of Defy the Gods. Chrys, tell the people who you are, where they can find you, and all the good things.
Hi, I'm Chrys. I'm Hectic Electron online. That's where you can find my games, hecticelectron.com. I'm doing this Kickstarter. I think the link is on the Twitch. And I made a game called Back in Sky Pirates. You can find that on hecticelectron.com, hecticelectron.itch.io. Really, anything Hectic and Electron, that's me.
Awesome. Yes, and you can check out the link in the bottom right corner of the overlay to check out Defy the Gods. We're going to go ahead and go around the overlay, introduce the rest of those faces that, are you sure you don't remember them? We're going to start with Richard. Richard, tell the people who you are and where they can find you and what you're all about.
Hey, I'm Richard Duane. I am the founder of Rook Studio and creator of Moonlight on Roosevelt Beach and Sherwood and other great games from that studio. And I'm also the ops manager and a production editor for Plus One EXP. And I'm really excited to play this game by my friend Chrys. So,
Likewise.
Excellent. And now we go to the one, the only, Tony Vicenda's beard. Oh, that was so fresh and crisp. Oh my gosh.
Hey, my name's Tony. I am Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP. And I'm super excited to sit in and play. I've had a blast so far. And I think this game is great. I do want to call out, Chrys was in the middle of running a campaign for the first part of our streams and is about to launch a campaign. They're the same campaign. If you are finding this and didn't back originally, shame on you. But you can go to the link and follow for the new fresh launch. There's more followers already. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of energy. We're gonna make it happen this time. But head on over to the link, hit follow on the campaign. Chrys, do you know when you are hoping to relaunch? Is it soon?
I'm targeting June 10th, just
June
under
10th?
2 weeks.
That's a
great. But the only way to know for sure is to sign up.
That's right. That's a great day to launch. Any project launching that day should automatically fund on day one. Defy the Gods, Hellweller's Book of Leviathan, any games launching that day.
Oh my God, it's the same day.
We're gonna be launch buddies.
I'm so excited for Oh yes. Pinky launch buddies.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So keep an eye out. We're big fans of people launching their games when they're ready to go and not before that. Also, if you can, just help spread the word. Tweet out ttrpg.link/DefyTheGods. Go check it out and help let other people know. This is, I think, one of the best designed PBTA games I've seen come out in the last 3 years, probably. Certainly in the top 3 on that list. I love the writing. I love the style. The art is gorgeous. Hope people will go check it out. But rather than just gushing about how good the game is, Sarah, what do we got next?
Well, I think we should probably talk about where we've been and the crimes that we've committed against the land in which we live. What happened last time? We kind of talked about it off stream. I remember Tony did some cool bringing down the tunnels shenanigans. That was pretty dope.
I turned into a lot of holes, which yeah. Which no one was ready for. I think on stream.
How can they not be ready for the holes?
Besides me, and so,
your whole deal. Yeah. Yeah. So Tony, Jumu, the vessel devoted to the outcast god Igdama, Liege of Secret Tunnels. We've got a lot of secrets. We've got a lot of tunnels going on. And you brought down the house when you all were under the city in some tunnels being pursued by demons. And I think it actually brought down a house on them. And so you all escaped with some sweet obsidian bones and maybe some gold.
Yeah, but there's so much gold in this city. That's not
gold.
that's
gold
what
don't
we
care
do
about that.
here. Bones, though.
Bones.
Bones,
You
though.
carve coins out of bones.
Yeah.
And you all were down there because this smuggler that knows Richard's character, Callum the sailor, was like, you gotta find me a way off this island and I'll give you this jar made by the gods if you do. And stuff. Richard, what else? What's going on? Like,
Oh gosh,
I don't mean to put you on the spot. I mean, I did.
Oh yeah. I feel like it was mainly just the sense that he was going to pay us a lot we were gonna be able to get a lot to get him off the island, which we have now gotten our share of things, but now we gotta make the arrangements to get him out of the city. And because a known criminal, he's having a harder time than even most people do getting out.
And you can make money with these bones. Literally, you can carve them into coins.
I mean, yeah, they are money.
Yes.
They're worth their weight in bones.
They're worth their weight in bones.
Ew.
And they weigh a lot because they're obsidian bones, like multicolored obsidian, right? Yeah.
Yes. And Sarah, your character, Sai, the Revenant, who really doesn't remember anything about her past life, was the demons were coming for you.
Correct.
Right. But now that you all are out, like there's a funeral for the digger who died down there. And as Tony was telling me off camera, it was shaming this noble who had come there who didn't remember the guy's name. And then you did your special heart move.
Yes.
To heal everybody's wounds, but it also did something else. What was that?
Oh,
I'm looking it up. What was
do
it
I
about?
remember?
It was when you share an intimate moment with one or more
yes.
others, ask if they'll give up something about themselves. Whoever says yes, give them one heart. And if anybody says no, then give your heart to someone in the underworld or the god of death.
Yeah. Luckily, both of my home skillies gave up something.
We said we would give up something.
Correct.
It's a promise for future giving up.
An IOU of the heart was paid. But yes, that commitment was met. I was trying to see if I had taken a note on it, but I don't. It doesn't look like I did.
I do want to say the memory was that you liked to smoke in the rain. That was the human memory. Because I think you did have a breakthrough, like an actual moment of remembrance of your life also.
Yeah.
Yes. You got a cigarette to smoke later, then you smoked it when it was raining.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It all came up Millhouse. It was excellent. The other thing, I know we didn't cover off on our XP gains. So we can wrap those things. But the other thing I just wanted to touch base on, mostly for the audience, but also for ourselves, we did establish some safety rules at the beginning of this game. As a reminder, whenever we feel uncomfortable, anything like that, we can raise our hand, we can message in Discord, we can take a step away, so we can, work through retcon, do all that stuff. Cool kids use safety tools, always. And we just want to make sure that everybody knows that we have already taken care of that off screen, and we will continue to do so through the rest of this gameplay. Chrys, do you want to go ahead and walk us through the XP questions that we did not wrap up last session?
Yes. Okay. So the end of session questions are different for each of you. So I will start with Sai. At the end of each session, mark 1 XP for each of these that you answered yes. Did you learn something new about yourself?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Did you tell others something about who you believe you are now?
That
Maybe
one,
less
I
so?
think, I don't know if I did or not. I think it was,
I
I
I think so because I think it came up in the like the actual turning into, because remember when you went into digger mode and came out of digger mode? Like,
Because you pretended to be a digger and you sort of took on the whole
oh
personality.
yeah,
yeah, I think when you came
yeah.
out of digger mode, there was some kind of like revelatory realities in
Okay.
that about who you were. I mean, I think you definitely communicated that to the players, but I think there was a lot of in character kind of reality of like
Yeah.
us seeing you make that transition, like is
Yeah,
teaching us
I
something
could see
about who
that.
you are
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. And then the last question, did you resist efforts to return to death or your old life? I think I definitely made efforts to not go back to death. I think that
Yes,
one
big
is pretty clear.
efforts that barely paid off. Yeah.
For sure.
So that's cool. And also, after all these questions, I don't know that we will because we're pretty solid on our safety boundaries already. But anytime one moves something from the red list to the yellow or the green or in any direction, everybody gets an experience point. So just want to put that
Cool.
out there for the kids at home, practicing good safety tools. Let's go to the sailor. Did you explore some place or someone new?
I did in the former sense.
I don't think you've ever been underground before.
I had not been below the city underground before.
Okay, that's cool. Did you help others? Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, did you help others see how wide and varied the world is?
I feel like that's a question for my friends because I don't know if I helped.
I think that's a good Psy question because I think Psy would be the one who that would most likely apply to. Because I get the feeling that all of in Psy's previous life, all of us adventured together to some degree, and you and I more extensively, I think, for Callum and for Dumu. But I don't know, Psy, how do you feel about that? Oh, there was
How
the whole
wide?
music conversation, like the whole conversation about crying and
Yeah,
beauty.
crying
Oh,
at
yes.
beauty and stuff. I think
And crime.
I'm going to give this a lowercase small yes, because I think that an argument can be made to like, there is a person with a range of motion, like emotion that I've not like encountered in this new form, right? And like a lot of what the character was like Callum was talking about is like, you know, you're traveling and like you have this appreciation for beauty and like because from your travels sort of a thing. And I think that kind of came through a little bit there. So I'd say yeah.
All right. Did the consequences of my actions catch up to me? That's where I'm like, I can't remember.
In the pit, I'm pretty sure. Like you were doing. I mean, I think you played it off smoothly, like Callum always does. But like you kind of hung back a little bit at the beginning as a way to kind of swoop in, and then had to deal with getting back out.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were gonna just let them go down without you,
and
then
you had to
you
give,
did your
I think,
big last minute.
I mean, I was
you had
like,
to make an offering to a god also too.
That's true. That is true. I did have to promise a favor to a god in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I have no memory of that, but I think it was epic.
we had a mixed success that in order to bump we had to had to pledge to Igdama.
Okay. All right. Well, that I'll try to make that come back and bite you.
That's what we always want to hear.
Love it.
And let's go to Dulu.
Yeah. Did you
yeah,
demonstrate your patron's power? I did a lot.
100% you did.
And then did your bond with your patron distance you from others? I mean, we specifically talked at the end of the last session about like how terrifying people suddenly found Dumu as a character because of all that. So I would say that is a, oh wow, this guy turns into a giant set of holes sometimes. That's weird.
Right.
And then did I communicate with
holes?
Yeah, did I communicate with otherworldly forces? Both my own god a whole lot, as well as the demons pursuing us a little bit also too. So I would say yes to all three of those.
Awesome.
I also will point out, just as a whatever, that I have 3 fire marked on my fire track.
Yeah, you have so many fire right now.
I have so much fire.
Dumu is so hot right now.
Y'all seen that Dumu? He's so hot right now.
So hot.
Like so hot right now.
Burning up.
Cool. Those are the end of relationship or end of session questions.
And Sarah, you just have 4 XP right now. Is that correct? Because
I thought I had 5.
You have 5, so that does mean.
Oh, you have 5.
Because you had some hard moves last time, so yeah, you get to level up. Do you want to tell? You know what you want to do, or do you want to think about it and let us know?
That is a great question of what do I want to do? So I can take a new move with the level up, right?
You can take a new move. You can bump up one of your stats, one of your epithets it's worth, or you can give yourself a new epithet worth +0. But I think for the purposes of this being the last session, taking the new move is going to give you the biggest payoff.
Yeah, I think that is the coolest of the options. I'm going to go with
not the red ones, but the blue ones.
Yes. I already have Shade Witnesses and Wellspring. I'm going to take Errand Shades. When you command the shades who linger near you, I can invoke an epithet and roll. And based on those successes, they can either do a single errand for me, or I get to mark fire, or they really don't like what I do, and I get hurted Wendy. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up Errand Shades.
Right on. Excellent. Cool. So let's see. Did that noble approach you guys at the end of the last session?
I don't think we interacted with any of the nobles that we know about, other than the one we were. Oh no, he did. He came up and asked. He did. The one that we had been shaming came up and said that there is someone who would like to talk to us, and that's the cliffhanger we left it on.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. People are dispersing from the funeral, and you all can repair back to the coffee shop where the noble seems less at home than you all are, but happy to have some really excellent dark sludgy coffee, and says, it doesn't matter who I am. I know somebody who sent me down here to find effective people such as yourselves. And she wants to talk to you about a matter of citywide importance, the utmost importance. Can I bring you to her home?
We should assume this is a high station person, correct?
Yes, this is very high station, right? This person is dressed in linen and has rings and jewelry all over them, hair combed with oil in these neat ringlets, and just smells different than anybody you've hung out with ever. Except maybe you, Sai, maybe you might get an olfactory memory from your past life, but or from your unlife, like, oh yeah, I've talked to kings.
Yeah, as a player, like as a character, Dumu doesn't give a shit about this for the most part. as a player, but theoretically, because I think what we've established is the bones in this world, in order to get made into the coin, like they get a civic seal on one side and then they get a family seal on the other. So this employer would probably have a family seal and the ability to endorse rare coinage if we wanted to get these bones into coins.
Yes, right. It's only the three ruling families that can carve their coin, their symbol and coin, and make it legal tender. The other side has the bug of Bao, the god of steering knowledge, on it, so that Bao knows about every transaction. But the flip side, so it's bugs and tails. The tail side is going to be the seal of one of these noble families.
And it's Tales, T-A-L-E, just as so everybody knows, the story of that family must be told.
That's true. That's not bad. Okay. Boy, normally I hate those, but that was good. So yeah. And I would love to find out what happens if you all reject this premise and are just like, no, we're not going to see this person as clearly the setup for the whole end of this adventure.
Yeah.
But
of course,
it's totally up to you.
No, that's as a player, I think that's the convicting hook is, and the convicting thing on our part, if we want to be able to afford travel, turning these bones into coins has to be a big part of that. Callum, I think, would know the most about that, Richard, and you're probably the best person to lead that conversation as a character.
Repeat that thing again.
Well, that this person could turn these bones that you found underground into actual coinage. And are you all hiding these bones somewhere, or are they just sticking out of your bag?
They're discreetly in our bag. I mean, the nice thing about them being broken is that they are easier to store.
Yeah, because these were bones of big people, like 8 foot tall people. Yeah.
Okay. They are. It is obvious we're carrying things. It is not obvious that they're raw bone.
They clink, but bones that people know about more clunk, bone versus I don't know.
And then wood also clinks. If we had stolen a bunch of mahogany, it would clink. Lots of things clink.
That's true. Lots of shit clinks.
Unless we have like a bone sound scientist around, I think we're gonna be
gonna be all right. That's the hard move, depending on how we roll.
I've been studying bone sounds my entire life.
Yeah. I feel like if something goes wrong, it's obvious. It will become obvious what we're doing. But right now, we're not just going like, "Hey, look."
Yeah. I think. Right. I mean, Dumu is inherently open to anything that is going to let him potentially amass more secrets, and wealthy people and high class people always have secrets galore. So So
are you all going to press a negotiation here? Like we want bones carved into coins, we want secrets, or are you just going to be like, yeah, sure?
I mean, I think unless they have a specific pitch for us, unless they're asking us what it would take, Dumu would not lead that conversation. So I was like, I don't know if Callum, if Callum immediately wants to open up negotiations or just go and hear the person out.
No, I want to hear the person first, because my strategy is always to listen to them as if I'm expecting them to ask for something reasonable, and then no matter what they say, act like they have asked for something absurd and unreasonable.
Awesome.
That's a great tactic. I'm sure has never blown back on you at all.
I mean, it was especially useful with nobles because they're so used to having no idea how everybody else is, and they're suddenly like, "What do you mean no one else has a million bones?" Or "What do you mean no one else has coffee?"
Like they don't know. It's like, yeah. And this guy is clearly just expecting to wow you with his perfumed magnificence, and that you would of course say yes, because your lives have been just waiting for this moment. They've been nothing until this person walked into the funeral of a person they didn't know and started asking questions.
While we're talking to him, I pointedly compliment other people on what they're wearing, especially people working at the brothel. I say like I pointedly, like compliment them, and then give him a cursory polite hearing.
I think when you compliment one of the passing flute boys who's carrying coffee and clearly has been working in the back rooms too, on what he's wearing, this perfumed guy sniffs and looks at the kid and says, I guess, you know what? I loved that look 5 years ago.
It really depends on how they carry it, doesn't it?
Well, that kid's carrying it with about 5 extra pounds of cheap fat, but sure, yeah.
Sai's gonna lean over to Dumo and say, I didn't see him carrying anything.
The coffee
He did have a little coffee. He had a little.
That's
little
true. Like,
coffee.
yeah, like confusion.
Yeah. You see Dumo just like shrug, as they and like takes a sip of the coffee in front of them, and you swear you can hear like a pouring sound in holes beneath my robes, as the totality of my response.
Sai scoots her chair back just a little ways from Dumu.
Are you leaking coffee?
I mean, like we just because Dumu's like it constantly is like when I shift and you can see through my robes, like it almost always feels like there should be flesh there and there's not. Whenever it happens,
but it's mystical, right?
Yeah,
like
it's not. It is not
holes.
consistent. Like whenever Dumu is directly perceived, there's no hole there. Like I don't know what you're talking about. And unless I'm full out wounded, and then I am just full of fucking holes.
Actual physical holes. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I mean it sounds like we're all down. So if I mean we're down to hear out this person's employer's pros after Callum plays with them for an appropriate period of time.
Yeah, that's when I just stand up and I was like, well, are we ready to go?
The guy stands up and says, oh, I thought you would never ask. Let's get out of here. I'm going to have to press all my garments after this, just from sitting here.
Yes, it must be unfortunate to do something besides sit.
Well, let's go up to the palace.
Then let us go to the palace.
And we'll cut to, yeah, right. Montage, you go up past all the wealthiest districts, up to the palace of the High Cacophony, and you find yourselves in, it's really 3 palaces joined together, and you find yourselves in, or 5. It's a lot. It's a whole complex. And you find yourselves in the guest entertainment rooms of Samusa from the High Cacophony, whom we saw in the first episode in our little prequel scene, as one of the people who worked out that the ownership of the brothel and the neighborhood it's in would go to whoever catches the first light at the parade, at the big parade of light. And she keeps you waiting a bit, but she comes in and says, I see that the interpreter found you. I'm so glad to meet you all. As of course you know, I am Samusa. She expects everybody to know her. And says, interpreter, I hope you won't mind if you just excuse us. Thank you so much for your services. And she clinks some really heavy bone coins into his hand, and he walks off very discreetly, like he was never there. And she says, I need, the parade is coming up, and it's always special, but this time is even more special. And I was hoping that you all could make sure that I catch the first light that shines from the mirrors in the parade, so that, you know what, it's actually very important, so that we can usher in a new era of peace and prosperity in the city, and it will all be down to you three, and we can all sleep more confidently, knowing that I have been blessed by the gods.
This is a weird thing. This is Sai's not been alive for very long, but like this is very strange, and like even the pitch of it was like, we need somebody who can like get stuff done, and Sai knows that we just like dropped 3 buildings into a hole, so like this feels very. Listen,
No
right,
one knows
Doomu,
that.
Doomu
No one
dropped.
knows that.
Is there?
We
I would like
know.
to try and like suss out, like read this person. I know that there's a move for this,
Yes.
for the figure
Human
out.
dice.
Yes.
So, and it's when you want to learn more about a person, invoke an epithet and roll. I want to invoke who sees the potential locked in every person and thing.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
So let me roll my 2d6.
How much is that one worth, that epithet?
It's worth 1. So I rolled a 7 plus 1, 8.
Perfect. That's a glowing success. What does it say for that?
On a glowing success, I get to ask the GM 1 below and get plus 1 more for each heart of theirs you spend. I don't think I have any heart with her. So what do they want? How do they feel towards blank? How could I get them to blank? What do they love the most? And how would they feel if I blank? I think like she's saying, you know, to usher in this new age, all of this stuff. So I think it's clear that she wants to like catch the first light. So I want to ask, what do they love most? Like what is actually driving that catch, right? Like, is it like is she a selfish person? Is she more concerned about the community? What does she love most?
She loves making other people on the ruling council's lives hell, and living well off of that, off of the spite. That's what she really loves, and there seems to be one guy in particular has really gotten her goat now, and she wants to show him up.
We don't hate it as the thing.
Say again?
So we don't hate that as the thing.
Right.
I mean, I had a similar impulse too, which is I want to use View from on high specifically.
Oh wow. Okay, we'll just get all the cards out on the table.
Yeah. We're just gonna, because she wants us to do that. I've got a very specific question that I'm that Doomu is concerned about. Let's do a roll and see. I'm gonna woo.
So you're just sitting here on these cushions with some nice wine being brought in and all, and you're like, hang on a second.
And I'm like, hang on, let me pull out a earthen knife and wound my palm. Anoint myself with the blood. And then I'm currently all healed up. Let's I think we're gonna go who only submits to whom they choose, because this lady is asking us to be in her employ. And
what's that one worth again?
That's +2. And
okay.
Even though it's wounded, that's my whole bit, is I wound myself and then get normal roll on it. So that is fucking shit. That's 9 +2.
Hey, perfect.
Well, +2.
Oh, +2. Oh, great.
Which makes this a burning success. So things are about to get interesting real quick.
Oh shit.
View from on high. When you want to see the world through your patron's eyes, invoke a wounded epithet and roll. You gain their exalted perspective and briefly know what they know. On a glowing success, I would just get to ask a bunch of questions, which we'll get to in a second. On a burning success, you do not fully return. Mark 1 wound and mark fire, which normally I would probably pull this down, but it's the last shot of a one shot, and I'm gonna mark 1 more fire, and then that's gonna fill up that track.
That's gonna max out your fire, right?
Yeah. Ask the GM 1 above. The GM will continue to give you stabs of disorienting divine sight until downtime or a special heart move. So we'll come to that in a second. But I am going to get to ask the question. What the options are: what does the future hold if we stay on this path? How can we change the future, if at all? What does my patron know about? What advantage can we gain over the threat we face? And what does my patron fear here? This person is asking us to change the outcome of the Parade of Divine Light, and to remove what I think at this point we know to be something very important from an individual, at least narratively. I want to know, without our interference, who in the city would the light hit first? So what does my patron know about who the light would hit first? Like, who is destined for this original?
And like, I want to say that as you're wounding yourself, Samusa is looking at the other two of you going, does he do this all the time? This is Outre. So Dulu, you are in the company of your god Igdama, and Igdama says, it's not like I don't like seeing you, but this is a lot all of a sudden. But you know what? It's good. It's good. I'm not going to question it. I think this is wonderful. It's really, you know what? It's really great to see you. It's always good to see you. Yeah, I know some juicy secrets about this parade and the rulers of your little city, and absent any of your intervention, one of the dozen employees of Bardumu, who I understand also helps rule your city, is going to make sure to catch the light. Bardumu is flooding the parade with his workers, and they will catch the light on his behalf, and they are so beholden to him that they're going to make sure that they own they own that moment for his sake.
Do I get it? Do I know, like, can I see the face of the person who, like, do I get a name or a face? So like a specific, like, we know that's the strategy.
You can see Bardumu for sure. You can see all 12 of these people.
Okay.
Being sent out into the crowd by Bardumu on the day of the parade. And okay, so it's a burning success. So yeah, you will never forget these faces.
Okay.
And if you want to say you know the names, I think great. Yes, you know their names too.
But I don't know which of them. Like, it is we know one of them will be, but we don't know the specific one.
Yet. I'll say yet. Right Perfect. Now, you are seeing a mirror that has been shattered into pieces and is slowly coming together.
That. I also think it gives great opportunities for disorientation as we encounter these people also too.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's wonderful. Cool. I filled up my fire track.
Yeah, you did.
What does that immediately trigger a thing, or is that a
It does.
Okay.
It does. It triggers the Defy the Gods move.
Okay. How does that work?
You first ask the other two which of them will stand with you in this moment, and then you roll plus fire.
Cool.
Which, as we know, is +4 at the moment.
What does it mean to stand with me? Does that mean like consequences befall them? What is the?
Yeah, that means that if you roll well, they benefit. If you roll too low or too high, they get hurt.
Cool. So let's put this in the new. So yeah, so we see this. I start to wound my. This is normal ass Dumu shit, right? Like little light self-harm, little marking of the blood, little bit of dirt getting like scattered around.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
And I think Dumu, like in the past we described, like Dumu's gets a very distant look, right? Eyes kind of cloud over. I think what we see this time that immediately ticks y'all off to. This is not the normal Dumu having a quick conversation with Igdama. This is Dumu touching this in an entirely different way. Is that my eyes start to turn into tunneled out holes in my skull? Not like there's no gore that you can see. This is truly just tunnels to infinity. Yeah. I think in the distance we see that sparkling light that is like that we described as Igdama's face, where it's somewhere between a geode and the stars. If any of us had ever seen the stars, besides, I guess we have on our adventures out of the city. Like the stars look at night outside of the city, and it's unclear which it is. I think we're seeing them tunnel back into that. And as she's like, "Is this normal?" Like that starts to like take over, and I think. Maybe pitch it out to everybody, or Chris can tell us, but like this has to draw the attention of Bao. Like it feels like we're high up. Yes. We're in the like. Do we want to name a way that we know that Bao is like? Have people name ways we know Bao is here? Like, do we want to do a paint the scene?
I want to just interject that technically, Defy the Gods can be about defying any of the 5 world forces in the game. Mm-hmm. It's often most fun to get really cosmic and make it literally about the Pantheon, but it could be about the city rulers. It could be about the Atlanteans who may be narwhal orcas out in the ocean right now. But I love the idea that you were getting the attention of Bao.
Yeah, I mean, I also just think this, like, given the space and the way we've described the city, like we're kind of in Bao's territory right now. Totally. And it's Igdama's nemesis as it is also too. So it feels the most interesting given where we're at normally, and the last person whose attention we want as we're trying to fucking make some coins, literally. So, but yeah.
I like the idea that as you are in the company of Igdama and you start to get this knowledge and you get filled with more and more knowledge of what is to come, that Igdama actually freaks out a little bit and shrinks away from you, just horrified and a little cowed. And then there's this buzzing of all these insects, both in your vision and in the room. So what do you two do?
I think, and I'm Richard, if you feel strongly one way or the other, I feel like given like size, like propensity to kind of notice like changes in people and kind of like call out like you cry a lot or like this is weird. Like I think she wouldn't be able to like help herself to like go over and be like what the and like involve
with the
herself.
Holes in with what?
Like I think at first it's like oh hey, like are you doing the thing that I do, or like become like are you like what's your deal, and kind of go over to like check on him, but and I'm not sure like the stand with you aspect, but like I can almost feel like whoever it is, and I would happily volunteer side to do this. It's almost like you get like sucked in to it, you know what I mean? Like you like it's like when you look down those tunnel eyes, like you're just kind of drawn into the moment. And Sai is like, again, I think she has like she's very curious, so there's no like resistance from her. She's just like, yeah, this is like what's supposed to happen next. Like Doo's doing weird Doo stuff, but apparently like he needs a buddy, so yeah.
I love this. Because we've described Igdama as my encounters like being in a cave also. So I just love like maybe you're just standing in that cave suddenly with us, like you've been pulled down to the end of that tunnel. How is Callum responding?
I think Callum is always ready because it's never Callum's fault. So Callum is just always ready to use whatever happens to like, no matter what happens, Callum is ready to use that in the negotiation. So I have not broken eye contact with her while she's clearly trying to get distracted. I've also accepted only minimal polite hospitality. Like, she's brought out like a plate of like cookies and I've taken like one.
Or a shallow bowl full of wine, you take like one sip. and put it away like that.
Yeah, and I set it aside, just like, minimal hospitality, but not, to always act unimpressed by anything else going on around him.
And you are similarly unimpressed by the holes in
it's
Dumu's
not
eyes.
Beauty. Well, it's also, I think I have my back to my comrades who are having reverie moments right now.
Okay.
I love it.
Also, because I know that if I look at Dumu, it's going to weird me out and I'm not going to be able to. So I probably set this whole situation up by Dumu is behind me and she is having to look at Dumu and I am looking at her.
Yeah, we've met with enough nobles that you're like, he's gonna do that shit. He does it every single time we walk into a nobles thing. It's always,
and frankly,
it's always weird for
everyone.
Everyone
is always going to look like trying to think about something, and I am going to look like I'm just politely unimpressed by anything, because nobles just rarely have anything of actual true beauty.
And will you stand with Dumu in this mystical moment that is about to happen?
I think it makes more sense for Sai to stand because you're both sort of behind me having.
But you can both do it if you want.
Moments of insight.
Yeah. It is a question just that his character faced it. I think the way we framed it up, it sounds pretty clear that you are not, but not because you're like fuck Dumu. You're just like, I don't actually know this is a question being asked of me.
Yeah, I don't.
Right.
I know that Dumu is doing something weird, but I don't know what it is. But it's serving to put her completely off her guard and distract her.
I love that you are just interested in the negotiation and in like not breaking eye contact with this bitch of a woman, like sip from the bowl of wine without breaking eye contact. Flies come buzzing in, no eye contact broken. Okay, so Sai, you are sucked into the caves of Dumu's eyes, and you are now in this cave with Dumu. Tony, roll +4.
Yeah, so
roll 2d6 plus 4.
2d6 plus 4. To 14.
Holy shit.
Oh shit. Okay, so the people or person who stands with you could spend a heart to lower this, but not if it's a 14, because it won't do it. Yeah. One heart won't do it. So what does let's read the move. Yeah. Okay.
I'll get my backup character.
Okay. Defy the Gods. When you deal a humiliating blow to a mighty world force by filling your fire track or otherwise, first ask who among those present will stand with you. Then roll 2d6 plus fire. And it seems like the specific person you are facing down at this moment is Bao. On a burning success, you briefly take the place of the world force, wounding them and invalidating one of their epithets. Say how you rise to godlike power, spurning any being's commands. All who stood with you, mark 1 wound. And then we have 4 steps that you alone will do.
Cool.
So you are briefly at God level yourself.
It happens.
And Bao, who is the god of insects, searing knowledge, augury, and commerce, is all of a sudden, thanks to you, no longer the god of one of those things.
I mean, we've like, because of what we're trying to do, we've got to be stealing commerce from Bao. Like, I think this is even like, this is gonna hurt. Like Igdama, I think, like pulls back a little bit and then like essentially like leans forward to encourage, like, take away searing knowledge. Like this is the chance. This is what we've been waiting for.
Right.
And I'm like, and like I know what we need is coin, and I know we need to not have Bao know what we're trying to do. So we're gonna take commerce away from Bao. Okay.
Instantly across the whole city, the bug side of all the coins is blank. So it's just tails now. Okay, so now we have 4 things you got to do. reset your fire track to 1 to keep an ember of your glory.
All right.
Take a new Doom move from your playbook.
I will take a look through those and I will pick one.
Yes. And you will also, once you decide which one you're taking, you overwrite one of your epithets with the Doom specified in the Doom move. And that epithet now has a worth of +3.
I override one of my current ones and it's got +3.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so every time that you roll too high on the Defy the Gods move, you become less the person you were and more this monstrous godlike version of
If
yourself.
I'd rolled normal, would I have added a Doom move but not have overwritten one?
If you rolled normal, you would not have gotten a Doom move or a Doom epithet. You
only
and all
get
your
those
friends
if you
would
overpower. Okay, cool.
If you roll too high, yeah.
Love
Which, if
it.
you're rolling +4, is more likely than not.
More likely than not. Yeah.
But it's you know, the more people that stand with you, the more leeway you have on your roll for that.
I mean, I feel.
And yeah.
It almost, I do think, even though it is mechanically less valid, I am going to use the one who's only submits to those who they choose feels like the best one to mark out. And I think we're going to go with who commands immortal power, which is when you command your patron for a change, mark fire. For a moment, you can manipulate one of your patron's domains as you please in your immediate surroundings. Describe how. How does your patron feel betrayed? This is like reading through all of them. The track this puts you on once you get one of these is cool and tempting as hell as a player, but you'll burn through your character fast too. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Awesome, great. And this is the end of the last episode, so drive it like you stole it. The last thing on Defy the Gods is ask Sai, who stood with you, how terrifying she finds you now from 0 to 3. You now have that many hearts from her.
Oh,
they don't gain any hearts from you.
How terrifying do you find me?
Is that in addition to the hearts that Dumu already
No,
had?
it becomes your new total.
Okay.
Your Dumu's new total. Yeah.
I'm gonna say a 3. Like, I think like watching, like, it was already kind of like a little unsettling. Sai was already kind of like a little sketched out, but now to see like the like power being channeled through Dumu and like the empty void within Dumu is like a little alarming. Well, I should say pretty alarming to Sai, because it's she maybe doesn't remember death. She super doesn't remember death, but like there is like that chilling, like, oh shit, like kind of feeling to it. So let's do 3.
Ooh. Awesome. 3. Okay, you have 3 hearts total from Sai. And Richard, you're just what are you doing? Like Samusa is freaking out. All these flies come buzzing into the room, and at this one single moment, they all get zapped and they all just fall out of the sky, out of the air. And she is looking at this thing happening behind you over your shoulder, and just all her really careful composure is gone.
Turn around. Because
right.
I'm going to look like her. But is there a coin on the table or a coin near the table?
Oh yeah. There's,
so do I
think,
see
a small stack of
coins? Do I
see
it suddenly as a blank?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's like a like 3 little stacks of coins that she had just left out to impress you all, and they all clatter. The stacks collapse, and you can see that the bug side is all just blank.
I turn the blank side up to her and say, now no one watches this transaction. No one. but the people present. And I don't turn around. I know better than to turn around. And I say, why don't you, in this moment of anonymity, tell us what you really hope to accomplish, and we will see to it that it happens for a price. And
There's a new law.
moved,
go ahead.
I moved the blank coin over, in front of her, and I'd like to roll entice, if I might.
Oh.
I don't think we've enticed
Excellent.
anyone.
We just scared the shit out of people this entire time so far.
Yeah. Little honey, says vinegar. Okay, yeah. Which epithet are you invoking?
I am invoking. Callum, who was never at fault.
Excellent, love it.
It's the only one that makes any sense.
Yes.
And that is a 9, so I believe that is a burning success.
No, that is a glowing success. That's good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry, glowing. That's the word I meant.
Yes.
A glowing success, which means I get 1 heart from her, and they choose, or she chooses 1.
Okay, so yes.
Off balance betrays a world force for my sake, or gives in to their desire, but I don't. Yeah, it's up to you.
I think in this moment, betraying your world force for your sake is the one that makes the most sense, where she is ashen, and she is like, I wish I'd never brought you under my roof. You all are cursed. But she also finds you kind of hot, Callum, you specifically. So she wants you to say that she finds you cursed. She'll just be like, I am in the presence of things I do not understand. I'm going to trust you all in a way that I have not trusted anybody. And God knows nobody has trusted me since I was a little girl. So definitely take a heart from her, which you can use to influence her or her faction, even in the city. She's going to be like, there's a new law. I want to say, Dumu, are you going to leave those coins blank, or are you going to put something else on their side, on their face?
I think right now they're just blank. Like,
Okay.
This is a new thing for Dumu. I think blanks it's a great representation of secrets. Like, I think it totally matches everything, but like wouldn't concern him, but I think it's probably like a subtle soothing for Igdama to be like, the fact that this all remains like that commerce is secret now is a salve on the wound for not taking Syrian knowledge.
Nice. Okay, yes, right. You was like, I really wanted you to do the thing, but I'm just going to let you do your thing. So, right. So Musa says there's a new law. The first person to catch the light in the parade is going to own this neighborhood down in the dumps of the city. You probably don't know it. Oh, wait, you probably do. And this brothel that is sort of the key to this neighborhood. I don't know if you know this brothel. She gives you the name. But I got to tell you, I like this brothel. I don't want it to change. But most of all, I don't want Bardumu to get what he wants. And he is going to move all the flute boys and flute girls and the whole brothel up to his neighborhood and let your neighborhood fall apart, just so he can have better access to, the best sex workers in the city, apparently. So he says. And I just don't want him to get what he wants. So I wanted you to catch the light on my behalf, or make sure that I catch the light. But at this point, my my world has expanded. There's more going on here than I really understand. Hold me. And I mean, if you want, and I will trust your instincts about what to make happen here, because you are changing the whole order of things in this city, at least in this city.
I don't respond for slightly longer than a pause should last. But the whole time I'm looking at the back of all the blank coins,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then I hand her all her own coins, and I say, in return for a favor to be discussed among friends later.
Just hanging on your every word.
I just pause there, and I just turn my hand up and set the coins just gently in the center of the table, waiting for her to either reach for my hand or the coins.
She reaches for your hand, 100%.
In return for a favor to be discussed later between friends. A favor with little cost to you, but a significant reward to your friends.
Okay.
Which we will, of course, share. We will ensure, in return for this favor, that Bardumu gets nothing that he wants today. What do we think bar means as a prefix in the city?
That's a good question. Sumerian's a very old language. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But
No,
you just wanted to.
It's so long since I took Sumerian. No, I'm kidding. He's last year. Oh,
I paid a guy to write all my Sumerian papers.
I was like, what is a wordplay I would make with Dumu and Bardumu? But I don't know what bar means.
I mean, generally, there's a sense of we're not talking about lineage, like son of, right?
We don't. Sumerian. Who the
Right.
fuck knows? A language that has nothing to do with any
right, but
any other language.
Etymologically, it has to do with weight, heft, pressure, like even
That's
austerity,
Greek,
right?
we
Like
say that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Heft and social heft. Yes. What's your play on words? I can't wait to see where this is going.
Is going to be about making Bardumu whatever the reverse of social heft would be, like weightless, sunken.
Yes, like Lidumu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. I gotta check in on. Yeah, go ahead.
Into there. And then if you will accept this price to be determined, then we will swear on bow.
That sounds absolutely acceptable. I wouldn't have thought so that before meeting you three that I would ever agree to such terms with somebody so unkempt.
Disreputable?
Yes, but I'm starting to like disreputable, you know? It's growing on me. So yes, absolutely. I trust you implicitly. I am on board with this plan. Okay, I have to check in with the other two. You all coming back down from your apotheosis. Like Sai, you have been kind of burned by standing with Dumu in the cave of all secrets, and now you are kind of cast out back into this lavishly appointed place with the silk cushions and the wine and coins and as well lit as anything in the city ever is, and it smells more familiar. Everything's a little more grounded, but of course also everything has changed. And your friend Doom was just terrifying to you. What are you doing?
I think Sai, like, we kind of come back and there's this like conversation going on, and she's very disoriented. I think Sai just looks at Dumu as sort of like a, what the fuck?
Yeah, Dumu, what the fuck?
Did you see something upsetting?
Did I see? She kind of like looks over to the conversation, not wanting to interrupt. Did I see something upsetting? Did it? Yes, look. And I think the like physical manifestation of the wound, like I feel like there was like that kind of like this weird burning. It looks like something tried to maybe like tunnel through like her arm or something. You know what I mean? Like there's like a physical wound, and she's just like, "You did that. You did that. Do you not remember?"
I didn't, like with the utmost sincerity, like you can tell, like,
yeah, 100%.
I didn't mean to. No,
I mean, I guess
no one else has ever come to the cave before.
But also, you've never dealt with the cave, Dumu, in this way before.
No,
like,
yeah, I just that part.
For a moment, it was your cave.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? Is there dissonance in your mind about this, or are you just owning it?
I think he is, like, even the question of like, did you see something that upset you? Like, you can tell he's worried you saw like a secret that made you mad. Like, it wasn't even like, hey, are you hurt? Like, there was no like there is a level at which like there's unawareness, and there you can tell like there is in place the strong mental block that people of intense faith oftentimes build around something that they don't know how to process, whether it's inconsistent or not, right? But like he is essentially mystery boxing what has happened in order for it to be able to
his own exalted self.
Yeah, like I mean, one, it's the first time it happened. Who knows if it'll ever happen again? Two, like, because I think specifically of like the secretive nature of like Igdaman like allegiance, there already is a strong mental structure of like you compartmentalize, you don't reveal anything you don't need to. Like it's how secrets are maintained. And so like this is like the primary concern is that like, oh, like not even physical danger, because that doesn't particularly matter to him. What is really of a concern is like, are you emotionally or spiritually hurt by this experience you just went through? And the physical reality is just like, I think incredibly surprising to him. And there is a level of like, probably shock that it could have happened, but it also it's something that seems super normal. Like the concept that a hole might try to appear in your body, that's just how it works. Like,
I'm like, welcome to the club.
Yeah, like, but there is a level at which it's like he can identify like, oh, you didn't know that, right? Like you weren't aware of that. It's a little shocking to him, but like it's that blended shock of like, oh, I didn't know you would be surprised by this, and I am sorry you got hurt because of that. Like not in a blamey way, but in a way that like he also is not taking ownership for immediately.
I see. You're compartmentalizing to avoid taking ownership of your own.
Yeah, but he is like, you can tell there's a level at which it's like, like the body I'm super surprised by and not concerned by. Your mind and self I am. Are you okay is really the orientation.
Let me ask this question, because we've kind of have some layers of to be able to answer the like, is my mind and like spirit okay? So like we established that like you guys knew Sai before, and we've established that I don't know anything about my life really. I think now would be like the right time to say, have you guys ever tried to tell Sai how she died?
I will say I don't think that I feel I let you go and don't know how you died. I just know me not
Yes.
going to do it. I believe that Callum does know how you died generally. And I think we have probably never talked like Callum and
Hey.
have probably never talked about it. So,
And
however,
frankly, it sounds like Dumu is great with not talking about stuff.
yeah,
That
but
is,
I also
like,
would say
especially
this.
a devotional practice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would also say this. That information would be in that fucking cave also too.
Yeah, I think the like if I get the impression that like you're sort of hiding stuff down there, you know what I mean? Or like that there was like knowledge down there, I think her question would be like if there was any hurt, it would be what information are you holding down there that is inherently mine that like I should be privy to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and there would maybe be a sense of like fear and concern, I guess, of like you've got a lot of stuff down there. You're not talking about it. Some of it I probably should know about. Like, you good? You're carrying a like I think before she thought that you were just kind of this like empty or like she saw you as like a vessel and like empty, and now she realizes that you are holding something, and like that to her is alarming and like a like whoa sort of a way.
Yeah. I love that. Did you see a thing down there that like maybe we don't have to define, we don't even have to define
I bet
what,
you did.
but yeah, like what is a thing you saw that represented something about your old life feels
What do
real
you think?
good?
Do you think you did?
I
Or do you
think I
want to?
probably like a snippet of it maybe. Like I think in the same way where like I knew like I got this snippet like I like a cigarette and I was like this feels like good, you know what I mean?
These
Like a
touchstones?
something like that.
Well, and
Okay.
I mean, I think naming a specific physical thing, like I don't think you need a scene of memory, like
Yeah.
a thing that
Yeah,
is
it could be a
maybe,
touchstone,
yeah,
maybe. But
because
whatever you think,
it is very
Sarah.
cave of wonders in there. Like I think all the
Yeah,
secrets are kind of
Yeah.
like all the
manifested.
secrets are in there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw like a blade. I think I saw like a weapon, like I was a sword before,
right.
and so I think I saw like previous ornaments that were mine or armaments that were mine that like post death either were like sold off or like I like you guys know the reality of it, but to me all I saw was like a honed edged blade that like kind of like try like it's you know something trying to like trigger something in me. There's a connection there, but it is meaningless to me, so it just feels like it's representing as discomfort in my body.
I love that. I love that. So you two are having this conversation while Callum is frankly
Wheeling and
doing
dealing.
business. Yeah.
Flirting like no one's business.
And is this a good time for a bio break?
Sounds great.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. All right.
We had one meeting, almost destroyed the world, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes to keep on playing Defy the Gods.
Right on.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey, psst, if you're out there watching right now and you can hear this, two things. One, make sure you head on over ttrpg.link/DefyTheGods. Follow on the campaign. This game good. Also, while you're over on Kickstarter, you go to wanderingblades.com or just search Wandering Blades on there. We are in our final 48 hours for the campaign for Wandering Blades. We've got a couple more stretch goals, both social, based on backer count, and total monetary. Going to have some really cool stuff we unlock. And I just want to let you know, Corn Dog, I'm so sorry that I scared you. I'm on the DL here. Don't want everybody to know how good these games are. Keeping it real. But also, Allah walking, study Sumerian to make a quick joke is peak role playing game. We'll be back in just 1 minute to keep on playing Defy the Gods.
And
Ooh.
Love that. Oof.
Richard is drinking olives in a glass of water, and I just finished a delightful lemonade. And now we're gonna play. Oh, wait, Sarah, you're in charge. Be the host.
It's too late. You're already doing it. We're going to come back and finish out our Defy the Gods actual play. Secrets have been revealed, deals have been struck, and hearts have been won. But we're going to keep on keeping on. Chrys, whisk us back into it.
Right on. Okay. We're going to cut from the audience chamber of Samusa, one of the high counselors of the city. And we're going to cut to like the day before the parade. It's been several days. Richard Callum, you made a deal that basically Bardumu would not profit from this, and you haven't really promised how that's going to happen. You haven't promised that Samus is going to get ownership of the brothel. You just promised that Bardumu is going to look bad, right?
And not win. And not like he
Not
will
win.
not be in control of the brothel.
Right.
Or yeah, the big problem is, and like, you know, that's what we wanted anyway.
Right. Sure. Yeah. And Samusa has brought you into her confidences because you enticed her, and also the world was being pulled out from underneath her at the moment. It's really a great time to make your flirtation / power play. In the way that only Callum can. And now, Tony, you are just a little bit. You have this move that could let you call the shots with Igdama instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
And use one of their domains. And Sai, you have this memory of this sword in the Cave of Secrets. So it is now a week later, almost a full week later. Are things still weird, Sai, between you and Dumu, or how has this settled in, if it has?
I think for my and Tony, like, happy to spitball this with you. I think that there's like Sai is being more careful, like with you, in a sense of like showing care towards you. Like, I think that it is sort of she has been like seeing kind of what you are dealing with and what you are carrying. And it not in like a manipulation sort of way, but in a sort of like, here, let me help you with this. Like, I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. And she has no like frame of reference for any of it, but like, I think she's convinced that it's too much for like one person to carry. I don't know how Dumu is like if that's like, hey, leave me alone, grumpy old man, or what. But like,
I think ever since you came back, things have been weird between Dumu and Sai, but I do think it is different now. So I think let's clarify. Always somewhat weird. Now, yeah, totally different. I like that. I also think like the interesting thing is like, I don't think Dumu gets it in a very like very explicitly experienced more power than they ever have in their life in a minute. And so you now suddenly being like, this is too much, like feels probably very at odds with the way Dumu is internally processing any of this.
Yeah.
And like, it's not any sort of cockiness, but it would be like, whereas before there would have been like a subtle resignation of like, oh, here's somebody trying to offer me help. Sure. Like, no big, like, I don't have any strong ego. Now there is like even it's not manipulation, but like, there is a little bit of that, like it's not manipulation on your side, but there's almost a little bit of like, you're trying to be helpful. And all of a sudden for the first time ever, I'm like, well, maybe I don't need help. Right. And so I think there's just the tension, like the added tension of like, when you're trying to help somebody who doesn't feel like they need your help is now like, vibe. And so it's not bad, but it is probably a lot of like more resignation to, I guess I'll let you help. And
Yeah.
probably a little bit of dismissal in some of that also.
So
Oh yeah,
condescending.
100%.
God.
Yeah, I think I love that though, because I think it's like
Yeah.
I don't think Sai understands like how you've taken a step towards the divine. She just sees the like, or like can kind of relate to like the humanity lost.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
is trying to like speak to that. But like in your mind, like maybe like it's the two sides of the coin, neither having a bug on it now.
Right.
But like it's that unless deep conversations are had, there's no real like alignment there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Love it. Yeah.
And Dumu, I think you continues to get those stabbing visions from your earlier move, only they keep changing. And like it was all these employees of Bardumu, and now it's like faces you've never seen before, divine faces. I think it's all shaking up and the shards are not coming together
Oh,
into anything coherent.
interesting. Like, is the general vibe like before Bao was gonna win? Like they knew they were gonna win because whatever, and now like now that we just the sheer action of like that moment of like defiance and ascension has made the outcome of this uncertain, like and
Yeah.
it's constantly kind of shifting around based on the power of the city fundamentally changing. I love that.
There's a thing from Dune, which I'm way too obsessed with, that I really
as you
love,
should be.
especially in the first movie, where Villeneuve does this really smart thing with the visions, where he shows you a vision, and the convention in Hollywood is you see that vision, and you know you're going to see that same scene later, and he shows you things that you know will never happen, and I think it's like that. Like you are getting counterfactual visions, or your visions are shifting, and it's all kind of. Uh, you might tell yourself that you're in control of it, but I think you're not.
No, I like
I
that.
don't know
Yeah.
if you know that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Callum, in these intervening days, commerce in the city has totally changed. The priesthood of Bao has been trying to put a brave face on it, and that only makes them look more pathetic, where everybody knows now that no god is listening in on their transactions anymore. And I think that there's a lot more theft. There's a lot more bad business deals going down, but it's still contributing to kind of an almost, especially with the festival coming up, an almost carnival-like atmosphere of possibility. How has this been for Callum?
I think it's been good. I'm a little fascinated. What happens when people try to recarve the image of Bao as the bug, as the fly on coins?
Like the priesthood would naturally try to do that.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of the things that Callum might suggest to some sort of like random low-ranking priest who's come to the brothel to unwind. And I might approach that random low-ranking priest and say, like, well, have you tried reinscribing the image of Bao on coins? And I think I will take a coin and just try to reinscribe.
This guy, this sad sack, is there in the priestly robes with the medallion of Bao, the great fly there hanging around his neck, and he is not drinking coffee. He is drinking grappa, and he listens to you. He looks at you with a sad, knowing expression. He's like, yeah, sure, go on, try it. Yeah.
I will try.
You do. You can carve a bug, not as ornately as the House of Bao does, but you can carve a bug into it, and immediately you know that the coin is now worthless. like if you were to leave it as a tip, it would be an insult. If you were to try to pay for your coffee with it, they would not accept it, and they would come chase you down after you left the brothel in the street. And it's just patently obvious. Like you carve the bug into it, and a passing flute girl stops and looks at it and says, "What? Where did you find that? What is that?" That's a terrible thing to do to some money. I'm sorry, we can't take that.
I look for the person I least like in the brothel and I hand it to them.
They say, "Thanks, I guess."
And I just walk. I don't stick around to have a conversation.
Ouch. Ouch.
Really, the person who came to get us for our last appointment, I've just like to drop it on his.
Oh, the interpreter who came and got you.
Yeah, I just leave it as a side token on his like cup of coffee.
No, he doesn't come around anymore. He doesn't really like hanging out in this place. But whoever you give it to, they just throw it on the floor, and one of the flute boys comes and uses it to shore up a wobbly table.
I give the flute boy like a squeeze on the shoulder.
I got you.
And then I walk back over and say, "So Bao has abandoned the bones of the ancestors to the priest."
It would seem so. I can tell you,
Bao has endorsed a different way forward.
Oh, what way forward do you think that is?
I don't know. You are the priest of Bao. And Bao is no longer interested in our bone coins.
I can tell you the mood around the temple is not great.
With a straight face.
What'd you say?
I can't say the word bone coins with a straight face.
Yeah.
Bao has not endorsed no longer endorses our currency.
No. Now it's just really, it's all down to the memories of the people carved whose seals are carved on the other side. But
Perhaps
I
now,
think this is chaos.
well, when the gods say that human order is no longer to be respected, perhaps the gods have endorsed a reorganization which will look to us from our limited perspective like chaos. I order another bottle of like a better grade of grappa for the priest.
Okay. And have you come into money that you can order the top shelf stuff?
No, I'm having to go on credit here.
Oh boy. Okay. The flute boy whose shoulder you squeeze definitely comes back with some top shelf grappa, and he says, I have to say, what you were saying just now really sounds like in confusion there is profit. Sounds like for Callum, yeah, there is a reorganization happening in chaos.
Look, if Game of Thrones were not like, you know, a cursed memory that all of us had, then I might say chaos is a ladder.
But it is, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, producers ruin that.
Yeah. So yeah, the graphic comes, and the priest is just like, I don't even know what we're going to do. It's, I have to tell you, the other temples are loving it. They are just thrilled. It's Nuska's big moment coming up tomorrow with the festival. Those adepts and acolytes are really feeling it.
I look at the priest and I say, perhaps Bao is also thrilled and is looking for new leadership for his temple. And I make that unbreaking eye contact with the priest.
Are you trying to entice again?
Yeah, I think I need to entice the priest.
Okay, all right.
Looking for someone with the insight to look past the corruption of previous human leadership, and I'm going to roll with Callum, who falls in love twice daily.
Good.
Second, and that is a 10.
Okay. All right. Well, feels like we were just here. So to entice undergoing success, get a heart from this priest of Bao, and so what are you driving at? I want to say before I pick which one they choose.
Oh, I think I'm just driving at, like, perhaps he should say that Bao has not abandoned the city. Bao has abandoned the city's rulers.
Oh, okay. Yes.
It's what I'm trying to, like, hint at theologically to him without saying it out loud. And that Bao's temple is corrupt, but Bao has abandoned the city's currency because the Bao's temple is corrupted, not because Bao no longer loves the people.
And the city leadership has led to this corruption. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yes, I'm about to drop the name Bardumo.
Yeah, this guy picks up what you're putting down and will definitely choose to betray a world force for your sake. Yeah. So, says, let's say that the old leaders were discredited. How will I know? How will the faithful of Bao know who is no longer in Bao's favor?
I think this is where I make that pun that we've talked about before, where it's just like
the Bardumu pun.
Yeah, the Dumu pun. That's the it is no longer the bar Dumu, but the discredited, the lower, the sea floor with the fish poop Dumu.
In flawless Sumerian.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It really scans in Sumerian.
It flows in Pseudo-Marian.
Pseudo-Marian, yeah. Yeah.
Sarah, I saw that face. Look, I saw that face.
I think this guy just takes empties his cup of grappa, stands up, holds you by the shoulders, grips you by the shoulders, looks at you, kisses both your cheeks, and says, "You have given me something to work toward, which is more than I've had for 6 days. Thank you. I'm on it."
I return the double cheek kiss, but I make it just incrementally more lascivious than it needs
to be. I mean,
when you reform the temple, come and find me.
I think finding you should not be hard. And he's gone. Tony, Dumu, what? Once again, Callum is wheeling and dealing. What are you doing at this moment, or what do you do next?
I think the thing is tomorrow.
Yeah. And like there are these parade floats that are covered in glass, like disco ball glass that people have been working on for weeks.
I think we see we see Doomer kind of like what looks like wandering kind of through the city. I do think there's a level at which we like we see them over concerned with small choices sometimes. Like they are overthinking, like, do I go up this street, or like when it forks and it's going to all end up in the same spot, like, do I go left or do I go right? And you can tell there's like a like they think the choices they're making are playing more deeply into outcomes than they're not. But as we see them kind of doing that, we eventually realize they are making their way to is it Bardum? What's the
Bardumu?
Bardumu, to Bardumu's kind of like holdings. And regardless of whether it is from any presentience or just sheer luck, I think we see them very clearly like bump into one of the 12 faces that they originally saw in the mirror, like one of these runners who's supposed to potentially catch the light. And we see him, and I want to pitch something, but I also want to keep it short, so we can pitch what I need to pay for this also too. We see him bump in. The person looks up at him, like locks eyes with Dumu, and Dumu just then pulls them close and says, "Give it to me." And I'm going to use leash and lash. my pitch, what I want to do is we see Dumu's eyes start to swirl a little bit. Like, I think we're like, he basically pushes him against a wall into a dark on dark corner in the city that has no light. Like, this is something that is very much it has the feeling of an ambushed mugging on the street on Dumu's behalf. But like we see Dumu's eyes start to swirl as the person kind of looks up at them, and there's this kind of like, I think, resistance at first. By the way, Doom moves, I'm assuming, work like ruin moves, and that they just fucking happen, right? Is that correct?
They just you mark fire.
Yeah, that's just okay. Just making sure that my understanding was clear. Yeah. So they are powerful, just so everybody knows. Like, this is not just me.
They are.
Yeah, this is not just me deciding it happens. That's how that works.
Yes, totally.
And we see the twilight kind of like the pinpricks of light play across this person's face as like vapor starts to escape from their mouth. And then an item forms. I would love a pitch from anybody on what the item that represents this person's deepest secret is. We don't have to define the secret. Like, they start to object and suddenly find this vapor coalescing into their mouth as whatever their secret is. Anybody got a pitch on what the item is?
I'm thinking
it could be a shard of mirror.
That's what I was thinking.
Shard of mirror is great.
Gosh,
it's thematic on what we've been doing. Also, too.
I was thinking like a broken mirror.
Well,
yeah.
Let's do that. Hold on. Let's do this. Richard, what do you got? What's your pitch?
Glassy narwhal horn.
Oh.
So instead of like the classic, I forget the name of the substance that most antlers or horns are made of.
It's tooth. Yeah,
it might be silicone.
Love it.
Silicone. You mean silicon? You mean like glassy?
Yeah, glassy, like silicone.
A silicate.
Yes. Okay. Good. So
mirrors, but it's very expensive.
But
a mirrored narwhal horn.
I think we watch it get pulled out. I think we see like I reach into his mouth and pull it out, right? Like, he's stumbling on it. It cuts his lips.
This narwhal horn that is like, I mean, it's a section, but it's still 2 feet long.
Yeah.
There's no way it would fit in his mouth. And it just comes out.
Yeah. And then we also watch me drop that into one of the multi-layered holes in the clothes of my robe, and then into my body, and we can hear it clinking down across rocks as it drops in to me. And
So wrong.
and I all of a sudden know whatever his darkest secret is. It doesn't matter at this point in time. But I do lean forward and say, what is the woman's name?
Samusa?
No one knows this, but you work for Samusa now. And as we see that narwhal hole like dropping down into the depths of this cave, and I'm happy to pay extra fire for this detail because we don't need to go through every single one, but I think we see it land on 11 other horns that have been
collecting,
that have been basically collecting over the course of this last week, or 11 other treasures. Either way,
11 other treasures, right? They wouldn't all be narwhals.
So essentially, like I've just tracked these fuckers all down over the last week and ripped secrets out of their brains. Also too.
Wow.
And so I do think the question is, Sai, have you seen any of this, or are you aware of this?
I think if we were just kind of like out and about and you happen like, okay, here's what I think happens. Yes, I think that maybe you were kind of got like lost from the group or whatever because you're kind of like doing your weird like, oh, I'm gonna take this turn, thinking about it and like getting lost. I think Sai maybe like caught the tail end of it, like maybe not the full bit. And it's just that like, again, she's not really sure what to make of it, but there is real concern. Yeah. Like she is just worried about Dumu and what is happening here.
Yeah. I also do have to answer the question, how does your patron feel betrayed? They know this can only like bring attention, and like this is the first time I've pursued secrets they haven't directed me to. So this is like, yes, I'm getting secrets and yes, I'm filling the cave, but these are not, but I am not waiting for them to ask me to go get secrets. I am taking
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to Igdama's cave. I think you've got your own cave.
Yeah.
Oh.
These are secrets Igdama doesn't know.
Secrets from the secret one.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Okay, Sai, what are you up to? In addition to being concerned for Dumu.
Yeah, I think like knowing that this parade is coming and trying to sort of prepare. I think Sai's gonna do some espionage.
Love it.
I think Sai's trying to like she wants to learn as much as she can about like where the light will appear, if that makes sense, and almost try to like preemptively be there. And in order to do that, I think like she's going to try and infiltrate the parade organization, like, you know what I mean, and just try to get an understanding of that. Using my move, I can be anybody.
Have we established how the light happens?
We didn't.
This place where it's always night.
We did in world building session. We didn't hit the specifics, but we did, I think, determine it is a large array of reflective surfaces in some way, shape, or form. It eventually hits the parade and like the floats have like reflective surface and refractive surfaces on them that light is somehow directed towards. What that looks
but the
like,
ultimate source of the light.
We did not firmly hit down. No.
Okay, awesome. All right. So yes, you are infiltrating. Make your move.
And I think probably to try and find like where that light originates, right? Like if we catch it before it even starts getting reflected, like game over, So let me roll, and I'm going to use that my epithet who's determined to keep trying, which is my +2, which is a good thing that I did. That is a 9.
Awesome. Okay, what does it say for with a 9? It's like it's all good, I think.
Okay, the glowing success, right?
Yes, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, you play the new role expertly. With the aid of clothes and accessories, only your friends can tell it's you until you roll a miss on any move. The way I see this is like maybe I take on, especially following like our visit to Samusa's, that I take on sort of like a council person's like aid of sort, like an administrator, to just try and see, like, I'm learning the route, I'm learning who's participating, I'm learning like the number of floats, and just trying to get as much information on the particulars of the parade, so I know like timing and like what our barriers will be and what our potential like distractions can be.
Yeah, okay. I want to say that this leads you to the Temple of Nuska, where you are able to get entree into their normally restricted rooms, posing as an emissary from the Grand Cacophony and the High Cacophony, and you are able to see this this large mirror that they have that is currently covered in cloths, in dark cloths, and they say, absolutely, be happy to tell you about this. It's a precious moment. It's not a precious moment. That's like, no, it's a once a year moment when dualities collapse, and our goddess, who spends so much time out in the desert under the burning sun with light and color all around, and so much time in our city of darkness, is suddenly in both places at once. And the light of the desert sun comes through this mirror and shines on the parade. We are charged with bringing this mirror out into the city and positioning it for that great moment. And we like to rely on our own divination about where that place is, where this mirror should be, where we can attune to Nuska's will.
Oh, yeah, I think like listening to that and kind of trying to like, okay, yeah, like and I guess I'm not really Sai right now, I'm Sai's persona.
Right.
Fascinating stuff. Is that, and you mentioned that you use divination. Is that like a group exercise, or is that led by an individual priest here?
That's a great question. I think that as I'm looking at Nuska's domains, and so we have this table, and they show you this model of the city made with desert sand, and it is on like a gimbal, and it's like we place weights all around this city, and we wait and see where is the place that the sands collect, where Nuska tells us to position this. So it is, we're just reading Nuska's will in how this balance pans out.
Got it. I'm trying to think, like, there's a couple of things that I'm trying to think of how I want to go about it. Let me read some of the basic moves then. Yeah, I would like to try, let's see. I would like to try and figure out some like information about the person I'm talking to.
Okay.
So, and I want to use my who sees the potential locked in every person and thing.
And let's say, I think, given your disguise, I think you're talking to the high priestess of Nuska herself.
All right, that's an 8.
Great, that's a glowing success.
On the glowing success, ask the GM one below, +1 more for each heart of theirs you spend. I want to ask, how could I get them? How could I get them to reveal like a in like the player mind, like a single point of failure, right? Like, so they've got this thing, it's gonna balance the mirrors, and like, is it gonna like shine to like one thing that we could redirect? Like, I think, how could I get them to reveal the weakness of this system?
This tilty map of the city is easily rigged. Like, they say, you know, it really requires very careful maintenance of this to make sure that it remains fair. Although I have to say, there are times when it is clearly to the benefit of the city to have the mirror positioned in one place or another. And so we pay attention to the influence of people like your master or mistress about where the mirror needs to be. And then I just put a little extra sand there. And, you know,
You
Niska
wouldn't
doesn't
happen
seem
to
to
be
mind.
putting a little extra sand for Bardumu, would you?
Well, I wouldn't usually tell the Chamberlain of a different council member what I would be doing for another council member.
What about
So
a
I
very
really,
nice one? And I'm 100% going to try and like flirt with them to try and entice.
all right, roll entice.
Oh, I'm scared. I'm going to do who is determined to keep trying.
That makes sense.
+2.
If your first line
Oh,
doesn't
thank
work,
goodness.
try another.
I roll a 6 +2, that's 8.
Woo! Awesome.
I'm scared.
Awesome. Awesome. So you get a heart from the High Priestess of Niska.
Nice.
And this is clearly betraying a world force for your sake, because they're going to betray Bardumu, and they'll be like, yes, yes, you know, I mean, it's all politics, right? We're all corrupt. Look, yes, I'm putting more sand here at the at the end of the parade. People will be worked up into a lather by then. Why the light hasn't appeared yet? We're just going to put it right there at the end and shine it on the on the float of the great fly. This is just, you got to see this bedazzled fly. It's amazing. And, you know, and then Bardumu assured me that that would guarantee prosperity for the city. So who am I to say no?
I think that's fair. Thank you for your time. I very much appreciate it. I will have to frequent this temple more.
Yes, please, please do. Yes, please. I mean, anytime. I mean, it's very busy right now, but you know,
Oh, yes,
day after
absolutely.
tomorrow, I got nothing going on. My calendar's way open. Just,
Yeah.
and they're like all awkward and stuff, and it just does not become their office at all, you know?
Yeah, I think Sai is very self-assured in this and kind of like allowing, like being very like courteous to like their discomfort. But we'll just say until next time. And is going to depart and find the party and kind of explain. And I think this has kind of happened over the course of that week of like little bits of information, but is ultimately going to sum up. If we gain possession of the fly float, the bedazzled fly float, the BFF, we will be sure to catch the light first.
And are you still in your administrator persona?
Yeah, until I roll a miss. Like
Okay. You could also set it down if you wanted to, but I
That's
think I
true.
like the
I
idea of just
think
being in it.
We really
But
need the
however
project
you want to.
management skills of a house admin, though. Right now, I'm just saying.
yeah.
What I
I
love
think
is how much more self-assured you are than Sai normally is.
Oh yeah,
Like
like I
things are
think it
familiar.
comes across very like she just kind of like walks in. Here's the information that we require. The float is set to leave. Like here's the information. It has a crew of X number of people. I've already identified based on Dumu's feedback. We like we can get him in so he can identify who's on the take, or we can get his little mole in there as well. Like I think it's a really good plan, honestly.
I gotta think how to make this plan totally blow up. But no, if you all
There are
keep rolling
2
well,
fly floats.
I think, yeah. Okay, cool. So you've found Dumu and Callum. How are you all with this?
Great.
I mean, like Dumu, you've been collecting.
I think, yeah. I mean, like
loyalty of
Dumu has
these people.
been implementing his own secret backup plan that he is not going to tell anybody about. Like, not as a whatever, just because it's like this doesn't change anything other than that these people are no longer in Bardumu's employ, even though he thinks they are. So like it literally nothing you're saying requires him to reveal that information, so he is not going to. It is just an extra layer of assurance. That said, does anybody else have any weird secret plans that might fuck this, this over?
So Callum, you were like instigating rebellion in the priesthood of Bao, is that right?
Specifically targeted at Bardumu.
Right.
Specifically targeted to like building distrust against Bardumu and Bardumu's faction.
Yeah, because he's a devout Baoist, I think we established earlier.
Yes.
Yeah. Supposedly, I mean, like to the extent that any wealthy person is devout to anything but money itself.
Oh, yeah.
I like that idea. Like the idea being like any additional distractions to kind of keep him away from the parade, thinking about the parade, thinking he has it secured, kind of drawing his attention away from like any plans there. I like that a lot.
Yep.
I will point out this version of Sai would make like in this meeting would have like brought both of you glasses of water and insisted you hold out your hands so you could take your vitamin D for the day to make sure that you like stay
living underground. You got to take that vitamin D.
You gotta take that. But the sun don't shine here. You gotta get that vitamin D.
Right.
And we'll like have like a little agenda where she's like talking about like the events that we're going through and everything. It's very organized.
Love it. Yeah.
Little cuneiform tablet.
Takeaways. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. And I think that the brothel has its own float that they've been working on too. I wouldn't dare theorize about what it looks like. But I mean, it could really just be a big coffee pot, frankly.
I like the idea, like maybe it's a damselfly, which is like a dragonfly sort of a thing.
Yeah, love that.
And it's just like not like overly ornate or anything, but has like a quiet beauty to it. I really like that.
Yes, I love that. That's great. And it is like everything else decked out in mirrors, and it is not. All these mirrors are dim. They catch bits of firelight, but everybody's hoping that they're going to catch some real blazing sunlight tomorrow. And I think at this, so the flute boys and flute girls have all been working on this, and you can see behind the brothel there's this sort of wagon with the damselfly on it, and they've been sticking mirrors on it, and somebody's trying to rustle up the oxen to pull this giant wagon, and I think it's on a road that's half caved in into the tunnels below, and so they're also worried they won't be able to get it onto the parade route. And I think in the middle of this, Bardumu walks in on these preparations.
Oh, I'll also remind you,
He's
Chrys, Bardumu is the bearer of the rule, which means the interpretation
Yes.
of the rule is up to him still. That is a thing we have not solved and our characters don't know. So if you need a good in,
That's true. Yeah.
that is a thing that exists narratively also too.
Yeah. And it's a mostly illiterate society, and it's really going to be up to him to say what it says.
Yeah.
Unless
Have
he
we
gets some counsel against
interacted with Bardumu before?
No, he's way above your station.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah. But he's coming in like he owns the place. And he's patting a flute boy on the shoulder saying, good work, good work. I'm going to have a new assignment for you tomorrow. And you, and just looking around at people.
You're
saying,
very confident.
Excuse me, do I know you?
Do you?
No, I don't think so. I think I'd remember somebody with your air.
Then
do you work for the brothel?
No, I am a customer here.
Oh, okay. Well, soak up the vibes while you can. This whole place is moving up the hill tomorrow.
Oh, is it?
Yes. It's not personal. It's just business. It's a new law passed by the city. The only way this place can continue operating is if the whole thing moves up to my palaces.
A new law passed by the city. I don't recall any of the other houses voting on that law.
Well, I mean, it won't take effect till tomorrow, but I'm just trying to get everybody.
So it will take effect when it will only take effect when you become the owner.
And he is really weirded out.
It falls on you, and you become the owner of the brothel.
Where did you hear that?
It's all over the city.
Oh no! Have you been spreading it all over the city?
No. We that is the rule that was published, that we know that the first light person receives the brothel.
So I want to pause and be like, has this been published?
Well, we knew, so I assume that everyone knew.
You were brought into Samus's confidence.
Oh no! We were
Yes.
like at the beginning. We knew that really early on.
So we knew when we were playing Bardumu and Samusa.
We knew his players, not his characters.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought that was a widely known thing.
No.
I mean, you could have been telling everybody for the last 6 days if you want.
Oh, I mean, definitely. Like, it's all over the city.
And then, like, one of the flute girls looks up from her work, pasting mirror bits on this damsel fly. Says, "Oh yeah, everybody knows that. No, you don't own this place until you catch the first light, buddy." So.
But who else would catch the first light except for the great Bardumu?
I can't tell
who is more devout in observances to bow.
I really can't tell if you're fucking with me or not, he says. Like, because you're right, nobody. Right.
In bow, you cannot be devout to that bow without money.
Well,
I mean, bow is the god of commerce.
And somebody, like 3 people just pipe up and say, it was.
I think it is obvious that commerce has abandoned bow, not bow that's abandoned commerce.
Careful, commoner, with your blasphemies.
No, I mean it's obvious that our trade has somehow disappointed the god, and only a true leader who is devout to bow can bring it back.
Yes, exactly. I shall bring commerce back to bow with my piety tomorrow.
And bow will mark our coins.
And bow's holy bug will grace our coins once again. Whatever whatever disaster caused all these coins to suddenly be defaced, that I will undo. And then I will tell you what the law says, because I don't care what everybody knows. It's going to be what I read off of this tablet right here. It pulls out this clay tablet with an incredibly dense amount of writing on it. And it says, this here, everybody, this is the law. And I'm going to read it tomorrow after my float catches the first light. And then we'll see what Bao's domains are. And where you're all working.
Sai, like, as Bardumu is kind of doing this, like, you know, your place commoners, like that kind of a thing, and in her current administrative close to power self, I think she's going to drift closer to Bardumu, and like almost like kind of behind him in the door, so it looks as if she is kind of like endorsing, kind, you know, like backing up his voice as one of the high cacophony, you know.
It
And
helps
like,
have entourage, right?
yeah,
You're
like
forming
kind of that
entourage.
solidarity, but is definitely like between him and his way out. And if
Okay,
he
awesome.
when he tries to leave, I would like to try to do something.
I think this is a good time. I think, yeah, he's going to be like, all right. So I'll have new working orders for everybody tomorrow. Until then, good luck with your, what is this? A dragonfly? What is that? And he turns to go.
I would like to try and finesse that tablet right out of his pocket.
All right. Roll or pick an epithet.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll who is determined to keep trying, because that's the thing that makes sense to
Working
me.
for you.
Oh crap, I got a 7.
Okay.
7 total?
Yeah.
Does anybody have a heart from? Okay.
I do. Sorry.
Yeah, Tony spoke up. So
either way is fine. But I also have a lot of Psy Heart right now.
A ton of Psy Heart
ton
right
of,
now.
Ton of Psy Heart. Also, I think there's a good yeah. I mean, I use it. I just think the question is like, at what point can you tell that Igdama did a little something that helped you get this out that you wouldn't have otherwise? Like, what little thing tips you off?
I think there's a hole in his pocket. I think that like I go, like I'm trying to reach in and suddenly there's a hole where there ought not be. So I'm able to like access the tablet from a different place.
I think even as you reach your hand toward his cloak, like this hole just opens in the fabric and
yeah, it almost like
right
falls out into my hand. Yeah.
But also I think, Tony, that Igdama does it reluctantly for you.
I mean, I almost feel like this is me giving up a heart, but I'm totally fine with also like this is a little bit like I'm gonna help somebody somebody else. Like you're out here getting other secrets. This is the secret you should have gotten in the first place a little bit. I think this is almost like passive aggressive Igdama.
Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, all right, yeah. Anyway, the tablet falls right in your hands. Sai.
I think she kind of like covers it like as she's like rushing to get the door for His Excellency, you know, well spoken. It's we must keep the people in line. We must have order. I'm so grateful for your guidance. Even though mine may serve another house, it is good to see strength in the high cacophony.
Yes, I agree completely. And maybe you could come work for me. I'm going to have a lot of bug coin to spend after tomorrow. What was your name again?
Oh, it was Charlie.
Charlie. All right, Charlie. Well, come find me when I'm in my glory, you know. Anyway, until then.
Mm.
And he
The
walks out.
Sumerian named Charlie.
The Sumerian
Classic,
named Charlie.
classic Sumerian
yeah.
name.
So it's like, Charlie, I don't know that one, but okay. Yeah. So now you have the law incised into
Excellent.
clay,
Um,
and he walks out. He's gone.
I think I
You can't
shoot
read it,
my
of course,
party.
but
Yeah, I shoot my party a sly wink, and just pocket it because at least now I have it and he doesn't.
awesome. Okay, let's cut to the next morning, as morning goes in the city of Eternal Night, where everybody lined up their floats with oxen and donkeys to pull the wagons, and they're at the city gates, and they're going to go through the parade route. And the priests of Nuska have set up this mirror at the end of the parade route at the Palace of the High Cacophony. And everybody starts out, there's music, there's dancing, people are having a great time, starting to get a little tipsy. What are you all doing? I want to say also the Bardumu is out and his guards are out in force, and he's looking for his 12 people, and I think not finding them. But what do you all do?
I think I'm trying to get aboard the the bedazzled fly float, in order to
Okay, right.
be there, or just boots on ground, find a reason to need to be on this float.
The float is staffed with Bardumu appointees and guards, and at first a guard is like, excuse me, no, you don't get on this float. Get out of here before I break your face.
Oh, you must not have heard. I was recently offered an employment opportunity by Lord Bardumu last night. Perhaps you could check with him. My name is Charlie. I'm surprised he hasn't sent a missive ahead.
Is that a real name? Sure, I'll send somebody to ask, but until then, clear off. And I want to say that Dumu, one of the people that whose secret you took, is there and says, I'll take care of this, Captain. Yeah, let Charlie aboard the float while you run this down. And pulls you up and gives you a look. Like, I don't know who you are, but I can tell you don't work for Bardumu, and that's good enough for me. I think, stay on here.
Awesome.
And the parade is winding through the city, and it has to go through every neighborhood, and it is going through your neighborhood, the poorer neighborhood, past the brothel, and the ground starts to shake, and there's a crack opening up in the road ahead of you. You can see it just winding in kinks, like toward you, and opening up, and you can see water welling up in the crack. Callum, what do you do?
And where are we seeing that?
You're seeing it in the road, in front of the brothel, and like I want to say that like 3 floats have passed. The fly float is just coming up to it, and the damsel fly float is like right behind it.
So the Bowis float,
yes,
is sort of right there, but what we're looking for is that. Sorry. The Bowis float is right there. right in front of it, right in front of the brothel. I'm getting a little bit of an echo.
I'm hearing it also too. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah. Sorry. So the ballast float is right there, and what I want to do is step in front of the bow. Where is Bardumu on the ballast float, the fly float?
He's not. He is making his way through the crowd in ostensibly an expression of goodwill, but he's really looking for his 12 appointees and not finding them. And so he, with this little bit of entourage, is like trying to find the people that he thought were going to be in position.
How wide is the crack that's filling with water?
Right now, it's like a foot wide, but it's growing.
Okay. So it could like literally just roll across it. So what I want to do is be a little bit overblown about it. So I want to be like,
okay,
Bardumu must come forward. Only Bardumu could solve the barrier that Bao has placed in the way of the progress of the float that honors our devotion to our devotion to Bao.
there's a
Only Bardumu could solve this. The priest alone cannot solve it. Only a dutiful citizen of wealth and means can solve this.
There's a murmur through the crowd, and this gets back to Bardumu, and he shoves his way through revelers and comes up to you and says, "Who uses my name in vain?" Oh, it's you.
Bardumu, the Baoist float is blocked from moving forward.
Well,
has Bao rejected our city? Will you
no.
be the one to lead us into a future where we
No, look, it's just a crack. Cracks appear in this godforsaken neighborhood all the time. Just pull on, you drivers. Get these oxen past this minor inconvenience. Jeez. And don't listen to this flim flam man. This person clearly from somewhere else.
1 second. Sorry, I'm looking at my epithets.
Mm.
Because the float stopped, and I am never at fault.
Okay.
And so it can't be me who's had anything to do with this. I'm only trying to get Bardumu to seize the reins of leadership here. So I would like to entice him to follow his own desire to force this parade forward, potentially, hopefully, to his embarrassment.
So you're using entice in a way that's not exactly romantic.
No, I'm using entice to just try to like cajole.
Cajole, okay, I could see that.
There might be a better move for it. I just couldn't find it.
You could use figure out, like, how do I get this person to?
Oh, yeah.
That might be a better fit.
Okay.
So and then, of course, there's sailor moves I had forgotten.
Telling everybody to just move forward. What I want to do is figure out sort of like, how do I get him to embarrass himself right here?
Okay, yeah, well, that shouldn't be hard. Okay.
So, because it's just blame me, and I'm never at fault. I was going to go with a different one, but he's blamed me now.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So roll to figure out. What do you get?
It helped. I have a 12, so that's my first burning success of the game.
Okay, excellent, awesome.
I finally got fire, Tony. I finally got fire.
So on a burning success, you learn too much. Ask one of the questions from the glowing success, and then ask one from the burning success list. So the glowing success, I think, was how could I get them to make an ass of themselves?
Yeah, how can I get them to make an ass of themselves?
And what's the
what?
other question?
Oh man. As above, plus.
So the options are: what dangerous power has their heart?
Yeah.
Why do they see me as dangerous? In which case you mark fire. And how do I fall in love with them or their cause a little bit? In which case you give them a heart.
I think it's why do they see me as dangerous?
I think that's right. Yeah. I think since running into you yesterday, I've asked around about you, and I think they see you as rightly or wrongly, as a big wheel in shady dealings around the city, especially with the boom in crime since the flies got knocked off the coins, and like they think of you as basically a crime lord now.
How do I get them to embarrass themselves or humiliate?
I think it's not hard that by getting them to feel overconfident and to take a direct hand in moving things along them with their own hands, that with his own hands, I think would do it.
So is it possible that like I could just get them to like move forward, but now the crack is large enough that the wheel sticks?
Well, it's like I think they just shove aside one of the ox drivers and they're pushing the oxen forward themselves. So when an ox inevitably gets caught in the crack, gets their hoof caught and trips, that Bardumu is seen to be incompetent and micromanaging. And it's like, oh shit. Ah, fucking slow. Yes,
Yeah.
the oxen is fine.
It's gonna be
Yes.
okay. We're good. We're good.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. That the so the oxen picks himself up and keeps moving, but Bardumu like gets his foot caught in the crack, and people just start laughing, and more people come to look at the rich guy who's clearly one of the powerful rulers of the city, who like has his foot wrenched in this crack and like pulls it out but loses his sandal, and yeah.
Oh, is it
Totally
also
slurped.
like a platform sandal? So now like he can't like it's so yeah. So he's like, he can't like even if he lets it go, he now has like 6-inch drop in his walk.
It's uneven.
Yeah, it's like an uneven walk. Like he has to let the other sandal go, and now he's not very tall.
Yeah.
Short Kings, you're great. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, and I think that you see his sandal that he lost briefly through the crack impaled on a horn, and then it dives below and is gone.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Did anybody else see that?
everybody saw it.
Oh my God.
So Tony, Dumu, what are you doing? Mm-hmm.
Moment of it.
Mm. With the Dama. Mhm. Yeah. Hmm.
You didn't lose sound. I was muted because I muted myself a second ago for a reason.
I heard you.
No,
No, I heard all that.
on the stream. So let me go back.
Whoops. Okay.
Yeah, on the output. Yeah. So for Dumu, there's been like the reason people didn't show up is because he's like called people on and had people come in and been rearranging things rather than taking the time to like commune with Igdama over the last week. Like he's been pursuing this own path, and this is like the inflection moment of all the different little strands of potential that he saw coming together. And so like he's also wandering through the crowd, but like he is bumping into people and having flashes and watching causality change, and there's just a lot going on. So there is like this moment at which right now he is very kind of lost in all these tangled threads coming together and having not resolved him, which I don't want it to feel like me just subverting, like I'm not doing anything, but like narratively, that's kind of where I want him to be. I have some ideas about what I want to do, but I do like the idea of him just kind of lost in this mass of people and potential right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think we get like, we have these, like, he is flashing back and forth between like monstrous secret vampire and like cowering afraid child in equal measure as he kind of moves through the crowd. Yeah, we'll pick up when that becomes narratively interesting. I'll have him do something. But right now, I think that's just the sense of what we get from him, is this kind of this sense of being lost in the middle of all this.
I love this idea that you're getting flashes also of your own godlike perspective of the future that you're catching glimpses of.
Yeah, like if I just taken the time to kind of reset, this would all be fine. Mm-hmm. But I haven't, and that's really what's causing that dissonance.
Awesome. Okay, Sai, what are you doing?
Just so
you're on the float.
Yeah, I'm on the float. Are we moving again, or
you are moving again now? Yeah.
I think I want to try and scare people off this float, man. So I would like to try and command some shades.
Ooh, awesome.
Kind of like come aboard this, and do my bidding in a scary fashion. So let me move this cat.
Awesome cat.
And roll. I want to use who's determined to keep trying and hope for the best. Oh shit. That's a 12.
Yay, awesome.
So burning success. The shades are made more palpable by your flame. Mark fire. They will do an errand for you, including appearing to others, speaking to them, terrifying them, or even moving solid things, but they will remain solid and unleashed in the world. The way I kind of see this is that she still has her kind of administrative persona. And as like this is sort of happening, she just looks at the shadows kind of coming off of the other people on the float who are kind of moving around and attending to like the dangling mirrors. And we get like a couple of like glimpses of those shadows in the mirrors as they emerge out into sort of these like terrifying, like sharp, jagged versions of these people's shadows that are
but
on
by
the
shades
float.
This is also like dead souls.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they look jagged and tortured.
Love it.
And I want them to scare the bejesus out of everybody else on this float, so it becomes quickly unmanned except for Sai.
Classic project manager comes in, fires everyone, restructures the entire organization, causing fear and terror.
Get out of here.
Yes. Yeah, awesome. I'm picturing you in this like project manager mode, project managing these shades, like
Yep.
and
Yeah. Like it's
and they
very,
yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. They emerge from these mirrors and they are fucking terrifying to everyone except you, where you're like, yeah, yeah, my peeps, but to everyone else, yeah, they are some of them seem to recognize the shadowy faces of these
I love it.
beings and run away in grief and terror, and others are just like, holy shit, this should not be happening, this is a cursed float, I'm getting off this float. And like the shades scare everyone else off, but then they become the people on the float, and they
Yeah.
are like crawling all over the fly. I think one of the big eyes just sort of breaks off. It's a really ornately done float, but it's getting bumped around. Like one of the legs, gets snapped.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now these shades are like, one of them, they're like parodies of festival staff. Like one of them is driving the oxen. The oxen have no idea anything's going on.
Yeah.
And another is just waving at people, elbow,
Yeah.
wrist, and like three others. There's like easily half a dozen of these shades, and three others just leap off the float. One of them is throwing beading necklaces out into the crowd, and then they just, three of them just jump off and start appearing before people, and like one of them grabs somebody and you can see it's just like sucking all the light out of them. They've they're having a great time.
Good. I mean, good for them. Live a little, guys. Enjoy it while you can.
And let's see, unburned success. Right, so yes, they are unleashed on the world.
Mhm.
And I think just one of them looks at you like they remember you from down below. I think the one who's waving at the crowd and says, I I know you. I served with you. I can't place it. It's all fuzzy, but I I was a soldier. Were you a soldier? A warrior?
Um, I think, um, I think Sai would kind of like, as she's being asked that, I think at this point she would drop the like administrator kind of role and like ease back into her normal self, and would respond, like kind of look at him and go, "Oh."
um, I think the shade is like, I had a sword and I think it was sworn to you. And I know if I find it, I will give it to you. And I will want nothing better than to be commanded again by you. I need to go find it. I know it's somewhere in this city.
Okay, man. Yeah.
Like, and then we could go. We could fight together again, right?
Yeah, I got this thing that I'm doing. And she kind of like gestures back like to this like rattling kind of falling apart float with like the other shades like disappearing into the crowd. I just gotta button this up. But yeah, we should, yeah.
All right. I think it would. I'd feel more complete if I could swear my sword to you again.
I mean,
So
yeah, if that's what you feel, like look at like I don't think I'm your real dad, but
But if you need a stepdad,
you can.
that's what we call bleed, Sarah.
But I'm proud of you, kiddo. She's gonna like punch him on his like little shoulder and just like go. I've got like thank you for your help.
And he's gone. He's gone. Okay, yeah. So shit is happening. There, shades of the dead are now wreaking havoc in the crowd, and there was a narwhal horn, and that crack is only getting wider. I think that I think the float in front of the fly has now like the crack has wound its way longitudinal along the road, and like the left wheels of the float ahead of them, which is like I'm gonna say like a moon float, and it is just the whole left side is falling into the crack, and somebody has let the donkeys that were drawing it go, and now this float is falling into the crack, and like people have stopped really having a great time, and now they're like a little panicked. But Callum, what are you up to?
I think my strategy right now is, now that we've got Bardumu discombobulated and frustrated, is to do something. And how do we have like a specific time or process or spot that the light will fall
into the parade route?
Yeah, in fact, we should cut to getting to the end of the parade route where the giant mirror
the parade
is.
route.
Yeah.
So what I want to do in the meantime is cover Bardumu so no light can fall on him, like a big cloak or like a something obnoxiously big that like he cannot just immediately. It's a little like putting a blanket over your dog and they have no hands, so they can't just like pull it down.
Yeah, but he has hands.
Why are you putting a blanket over me?
This is going to be a multi-person effort.
Do that to Bardumu, so that he can't just like pull the blanket off, but like, you know, just like like a fencer's cloak maybe.
You're going to need the cooperation of like 3 other people to do this. Like you can get a big.
But this is the fly float also the Baoist priest float?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a friend among the Baoist priest.
You do, yeah. And I think he's really freaked out by the dead people that are driving the float, or were driving the float, and now disappeared into the crowd. So if he was on the float, he's not anymore.
Is he like no longer in sight, or do I just need to?
No, he's in sight. He's walking along next to the wagon. What do you say to him?
First I want to.
He's like kissing his medallion and making prayers to try to dispel these dead people.
What do I say to him? I think I am going to toss him one end of one of their banners. Something long,
okay,
as wide. And then nod at Bardumu, and then lunge at Bardumu with an attempt to wrap his face up repeatedly with this banner. So it can't just be pulled off. It has to be
okay. Yeah. If you spend the heart that you have with this priest, then yes, you can arrange for this to happen.
And then do you want me to roll Dazzling Blade, or does that? Or is
are you going to fight him?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was like, you know, I'm assuming he's going to fight off. I'm not trying to wound him so much as I am try to.
Yeah, let's fight.
Him. Emotionally wound him. I would love to emotionally wound Bardumu.
That counts.
He not recognize one of the most important ship captains in the city.
Awesome. What epithet are you invoking?
1 second. I forget my own epithets.
They're also good. I don't know how you forget them.
They are so good.
Who
Falls in
does
love
no
twice
wrong,
daily,
who falls
is
in love
never at
twice
fault.
daily,
Yeah.
who
It's I'm never at fault.
never at fault.
Yeah.
Is my strongest one, but I think the one who weeps for true beauty, because
That's yeah.
this is union between pirate and priest.
Okay. Oh, it is beautiful.
To bring down
That classic pirate to
corruption.
priest love story.
Well,
Yes.
love is a strong word. It's a love.
All right.
That classic pirate to priest bondage story.
Oh, wow. I think I've seen that movie.
It's such a they have a whole Save the Cat chapter about pirate to priest bondage stories.
All right, awesome.
That is, I was rolling with Falls in Love twice each day, and that is an 8.
An 8. Okay, then that is glowing success. So let's see what happens with Dazzling Blade.
On a Dazzling Blade with a glowing success, I inflict 1 wound. But yes. I may take the wound as I may take a directed wound in return. I'm gonna acrobat because I'm not really inflicting a wound. I'm really just kind of wrapping this guy's face up.
You're incapacitating.
Yeah, I'm incapacitating.
You are incapacitating him. Yeah.
And I have no idea. Like, I'm gonna spar. I'm going to provoke my enemy and gain 1+1 heart from them. So he knows it's me.
Okay, wait. No, I think you're taking the hearts a little bit away from like the meaning. Like you're not flirting with them, or like you're not provoking their passion. I mean,
I think what
I liked Vault because
I think acrobatically get past obstacles and draw all eyes to me. So I'm going to get on top of the fly float.
Love it. And you're winding him up in this parade banner.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's good. And sorry to put the kibosh on your heart, but I think
no.
I think that you do wound him in terms of his prestige, which is really worse than hurting him physically. And he is incapacitated. He can't get this thing off. And the priest of Bardumu, or the priest of Bao, looks at you like, oh yeah, this will bring favor back to the city. This will put the bugs back on the coins, as the saying goes.
Classic saying.
We'll get bugs on coins.
Seats, bugs on coins. Yeah.
That's what my mom always said. That will put some bugs on the coins.
So I want to say that now the floats have wound their way to the
Can I do a thing to actually get us there, because the ground was falling apart and everything was falling.
The ground was falling apart,
and people were running in terror. And I think we see and this will get us there, so don't worry.
Good. Oh no, this is awesome.
We see Dumu like kind of like getting battered around a little bit, was lost in his head, and then looks suddenly like clear-eyed at the float, sees what's happening, watches the wrap up, sees the shades running off in the distance, and realizes the ground is like crumbling underneath them, and like everything is about to be derailed. Like all potentiality is about to fall into nothing. If everything, and so she says, looks at the looks just straight, like locks eyes with the oxen, and just commands them to turn, because he knows a shortcut, and opens up a giant secret tunnel in the alleyway off to the side that will take this float to the end of the parade route and pushes it through. At the other end, people just see a giant fucking tunnel open up in the middle of the parade route out of the ground.
Are you using your Doom move again?
I'm using Lash and Leash. I'm actively trying to do it because I do have a thing I want to do before the end, and I do want to trigger the Defy the Gods move one more time to make it happen also too. So I'm
You're just gonna keep
I am going to
that.
hit that until, I mean, it's an active choice right now. Yeah.
Okay,
So
awesome. A giant tunnel opens up.
giant
The
tunnel opens
auction
up and moves
beautifully goes through it,
moves
yeah.
this and the float behind it. Like the two bug floats. There. Everything else maybe crashes into the ground. Who knows? We'll find out
You could
later.
care less, right?
Yeah, it's not the concern. It's the concern of other people right now. But yes, we are moved to the end. Like we pop out of the ground. I think it's probably pretty terrifying to people at that end, but also maybe they think it's just part of the show. This is the other end of a parade route. There haven't been shades here. Who knows? Maybe it's an ostentatious thing. But yes, we're there, and so I think the mirror is about to create light also too.
Yeah. So these priests and priestesses of Nuska are pulling the cloth off this giant oblong mirror that is stationed right in front of the palace. And you can see through it. It's dim at first, but it starts to brighten. And you can see just desert sand in it and bright, light blue cyan sky. And you can see the sun moving into the frame of the mirror, and just light pours out of this mirror. And you can see a woman made of light in the mirror, and then all of a sudden outside the mirror also, and there in front of it, and just light shining off of her. So do a finesse to see who catches the light.
Actually,
that was what yes. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna use Lash and Leash
Defy the
again.
Gods. yes, of course.
And I'm going to open up a tunnel in front of where the light is coming out.
Yeah. Okay.
However, this will be me marking my fire track entirely full again. I do have an entire pitch here for what I would like to have happen.
I'm here for it.
And sorry to just spam this button, but in a short shot, is good. I think this is good. I think this is fun.
I mean, yeah.
We'll cast it out to everybody. I have captured the light at this point. I will be able to redirect it. I'm also let's walk through the Defy the Gods thing one more time now that I've done it.
It's like first you ask who will stand with you among your friends.
Cool. Anybody want to stand with me?
What's up? Yeah, I think both of us are complicated this time.
Yeah.
Wow, Sai is like still a glutton for punishment. Like it didn't work out so well last time, but
yeah, like if Callan wants to do it, great, but I'm 100% on board. Absolutely, I'm in.
Your sword's down there.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
And then what is the next thing that I have to do?
Okay. So then you roll plus fire, which I guess
plus
4 again.
And Callum, are you standing with me? Yes, no?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Just no glowing successes.
Yeah, only burning successes. Unless that's what you meant. And then whoops.
No, just burn. We need to burn.
Okay. All right, that is 11.
So 11. Okay, so if you wanted a glowing success, one of your friends could spend a heart, but it sounds like you're here for the burning success, and that's awesome.
We're here for the burning success.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so I'm going to take Lover's Drain L.
Okay, wait. We gotta do the other parts.
Oh, what's the other part?
First. So you briefly take the place of the world force, wounding them and validating one of their epithets. So which god or city authority are you facing down here?
I mean, we could pitch out a lot of different ones. Narratively, unfortunately, stealing something from Nuska makes the most sense right now because it's literally what we're doing.
You're stealing the light.
We could also just fuck Bao up more. Also too.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I mean, which I'm fine with. Like, if we want to steal searing knowledge, I'm down with that. Anybody have somebody who we particularly want, like a world force we want to mess up? Do we want to I mean, if we want to start to take down the Grand Cacophony also too, or Bardumu.
I think there's a couple of things.
Yeah. Wait. Sarah's going first.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that could be interesting here, right? Particularly because we're kind of goofing up Nuska's whole thing.
Yeah.
There's also the tie between Sai and Nuska. Nuska's like trying to like destroy Sai, like in a weird way. It could
Mm-hmm.
be kind of cool if like we got rid of either like it could be kind of cool to get rid of mirrors and see what happens. It might just like
Oh,
shatter
wow.
everything.
I mean, I'm pretty pissed at mirrors right now for what they've been doing in my brain, also too. But I'm also stealing this light right now, so theft is an option.
Wait.
If we want to live with the gods, if we want to live with something else, it's fine. Richard, what are your thoughts?
No,
Yeah.
I like Nuska.
Okay.
I was gonna suggest the nobles, but I like Nuska better.
Cool.
Ooh, or you could just take light and color, and then literally you have Nuska's light done. Like it's not.
I think
insane.
that fits
Wow.
narrative. Like we're taking it in right now. We're gonna figure out where it
Hell
goes.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So
Hell yeah.
we're taking the primary domain of light and color from Nuska.
Awesome. Yeah. And then so then Sarah and Richard each mark 1 wound because
they
your friend is once again ascended to godhood, which I have to say once is an accident, twice is just
twice feels like it's on purpose.
You reset your fire tractor 1, Tony.
Yeah.
And then okay, now you take that Doom move.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Doom who steals Heavenly Fire.
Makes sense.
When you feed on your patron's vitality, mark fire and unmark all your wounds as if you will fill with immortal might. Then you may invoke an unwounded epithet to perform 1 miracle. How does your patron share election to answer your next call? I'm just kind of combining this into the leash and lash move. Also, I'm just using it to give it flavor.
Yeah.
Because the thing I'm going to do that kicked all this off, in addition to opening that portal, what I want to pull out of that portal and give to Sarah's character, and let them decide what they want to do with it when we unleash the light, is I want to pull that honed sword out of like I want to take it out of the horde and pull it out into the world. I'd like to just read a move. We don't have to go into the details on it. But theoretically, you were a sword in your previous light. There's a great Doom mode for the sword that says, "Who does the weapon's bidding?" You had a famous weapon. It had a soul, and it talks to you. It cannot be affected by Pantheon members or sorcery. When you gain this move, give the sword a name, at least 1 heart. When the weapon suggests you harm someone, there's more details. But I do love the idea that this is potentially a Doom move sword that has been hidden away after your death that we are pulling out and putting back in your hand.
Shit.
That's something we can narrative. I don't know that you need the move. I just think it's fun.
Yeah,
I think having a talking sword is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I love the idea, and like I get that we're like closing out here, but that would be kind of like a new goal, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. 100% why I'm
sick.
pitching this as if this wasn't the end of a 3-parter.
If we had another act for Sai, that would be an amazing launch to that.
But anyways, I think instead of like we see the tunnel open back up and there is light on the other side, but it opens up right in front of you and this sword just spills out into your hand. And you can tell that there's light building up behind it that will move out. So you can tell there is light coming for whatever you want to do with it, with this sword.
Yeah, I think I want to do some dope ass, like, I think I sort of stand ready, and we're gonna do like a full-on 80s high fantasy book cover with like the sword raised high to like like basically I'm catching the light and like directing it up, so it's like a beacon of like it cannot be denied that like this person did the thing.
Nice. Yeah, just reflecting all that light off the sword. God, there's like Fazetta painting, like where he's catching lightning with the sword and shooting off in another direction. Yeah.
Yes,
So
that's exactly
metal,
the vibe. Yes.
Sarah. Okay, awesome. Where are you directing the light to? Like,
I think
any
like
of you?
I think for a moment I'm just holding it, right? To kind of like fulfill that like I have caught it. You know what I mean? Like, and make it undeniable for the crowd. But then I think I like turn. I want to find the damselfly float.
That's right, which I intentionally only brought those 2 floats through, so it is right behind you.
It's right there.
I like. Yeah, I want to turn and I want to light up like the spirit of our community, man. And like
the sex workers damselfly.
yeah,
Float.
yeah, and that's I direct it there.
That's awesome. It just fires off with reflected light, and it's in a lot better shape than the bow float by this point. And you can see all the flute boys and flute girls on the float and around the float, or the organ, just going yay and cheering. And the like city grandees who had all assembled here at the end of the parade route are a little confused, but going hey, because there haven't been dead people walking through, shades walking through the crowd here. They've just been drinking, so they're like, yeah, that's great. They don't know what it means for the brothel, like woo. And yeah, I don't know where Bardumu is at this point. He's probably still back there.
He doesn't know either. He's got a thing wrapped around his head.
Right. Callum, what do you do?
I think I'm just going to go forward, wounded by the burning fire from within Dumu. And I'm going to loudly yell that Dumu has bested Bar Dumu.
Yes, the chant goes up to the crowd. Dumu, Dumu, Dumu. Sarah, you have the law tablet, right?
Sure do.
Awesome. So this is, so light is pouring out. Nuska herself has shrunk back into the mirror and is no longer radiant with light. It's now you 3 are radiant with light, and the damselfly afloat. But your sword, Sarah, is still burning with blazing light. And Dumu, you have personally become filled with light. And I think you can see all these potentialities just coalescing on you. And somewhere in the crowd, I think you see the face of Igdama just looking at you, heartbroken, and disappearing into the shadow of an open doorway.
I pass out. I'll wake back up in an epilogue scene. It's fine.
Yeah, that's a pretty good place to cut. And
I love it.
Yeah. And if you want to give epilogues, you can. I think it'd be great to hear what happens to all the workers at the coffee shop / brothel. And what happens with the guy who wanted to find a way out of the town with that little jar of music. Yeah.
I think Sai, like, having the law tablet and everything, if Samusa's present, I think tries to make the case that that the brothel was the one that kind of caught the light and everything, and make and by the letter of the law they are beholden to themselves and become like property owners to themselves.
What? A worker-owned co-op? We did it.
In my fantasy story.
In my fantasy.
I think Samusa wants to balk at this, but the interpreter comes up and says, let me see that tablet, and basically reads it out and says, by this law, indeed, the the owners of this Damselfly float, they own the brothel and that part of their neighborhood. So yeah.
But yeah, I think in like Sai's epilogue scene, it would like be in the brothel. She would be bumming a smoke off of that barista from before, a little bit more confident in her sense of self. She would have that sword like at her side, and would probably insist like, you know, hey, gotta go meet somebody. And her intention to go try and find that shade that was like, I'm gonna go find my sword, just to like make sure that he's okay.
Oh, yeah. I think the shade's gonna find you for sure. And I think the sword is like whispering at your side, conquest, conquest. And the barista that you bum the smoke off of is like, that's weird.
What's weird?
Your sword. It's
what's weird about it?
It's whispering conquest. You don't think it's weird?
Do swords not normally do that?
No. Wherever you're going, I gotta go somewhere else. I think you're really weirding this person out, like, which maybe you don't actually have any feelings about because you don't know what the baseline is. But like,
yeah, I think like this is kind of happening, and she's just like, I think no, actually, I think she looks at me. She's like, "You think this is weird? I travel around with a guy full of holes."
No. I think the barista is actually like, only into BC. I love this city.
I fucking love this city.
I fucking love this city. Tony, what's Dumu's or wait, maybe I should do Callum first. Like what's your epilogue?
I think Callum is just escorting his old colleague to the docks with his new priest friend.
Right.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, keep going. I was just thinking about what's on the coins now. Maybe it's still blank on one side, or maybe there's Shara's moon on it.
Oh,
yeah, no one's Shara's got power in the city now.
Yeah, just not the darkness, just the moon. Is the moon revealing itself more?
Oh shit, there's light in the city.
Yes, for the first time, people can see a crescent moon, and over the course of the next month, it continues to grow. Yeah.
Wait, it's still but it continues to grow?
No, not louder. I mean, it waxes.
Continues to fill.
Oh yeah. It waxes and
moon.
wanes.
Yeah.
We still see no sun during the day, but by night we get the moon.
I love that.
You don't see the sun at all, yeah, but you get the moon.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's because people are actually more active, you know, because it's the closest thing they've got to daytime. Yeah, wow. So you're escorting your friend Lanu down to the docks.
And I think we get to a ship, and I give him a half of the ebony bone coin, of one ebony bone coin, like it's cut in half.
Oh, okay.
And I give him, I'll give him both halves, but like, you know, it's very, like, you know, ebony bone, very valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, he shouldn't have to break it himself. And then a letter of transit from the temple.
Awesome. Safe passage. Like good. I could use this with all the narwhal orchids out there. They're a hazard, I have to tell you. So thank you. And here's the jar. I don't ever want to see it again. It makes me sad, and I don't really know what that feeling's about. I'm not used to feeling sad. So better you than me.
And I think I will just retreat with my friend, my new priest friend, and
Uh-huh.
Return to the brothel and let the jar make its music.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you are opening the jar. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
Excellent. It fills everyone with memories that are poignant, but that they wouldn't trade for the world. Yeah. Tony, what's up with Dulu?
I think Dumu is just like in a weird liminal space for days, just kind of like wakes up,
Yeah.
passes out, you know, like vaguely aware of time passing. And the first kind of clear memory they have, they wake up in the Cave of Secrets, and like get up and start to move around and start to call for Igdama, and there is no response, right? And they like walk back deeper into the cave than they ever have before, and they find just a door there, with a tablet kind of leaning up against it, that uh is a note from Igdama that says, um essentially, like, that says, I think it's best if you were on your own for a little while. I've gone further away. And like, there is this giant lock on the door. And I'm instantly aware that there is no key in here there's no key in the Cave of Secrets that will open it. When I try to put my hand on it to open it up, I immediately get intense flashes of the three of us and unknown figures like across it, a huge sailing ship bigger than any one we've ever done. It's clearly immediate to me that Callum is in command, and we're cresting along the waves. And then I see us trampling across the steppe plateau, making our way towards the I'm trying to remember what it was. Past the river of forgetfulness, towards the clearing of life, towards the clearing of life and death. And yes, it's obvious that we have a long journey in front of us. And then I wake up on a bed in the brothel to the sound of music coming out of a box that I know immediately should not be open.
I like the last thing you hear is some flute boy saying, should that much water be coming out of it? And it's like, scene. I love that. Thank you, Tony, for wrapping that up.
Yeah. Next time on Defy the Gods.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The spin-off series all about Psy.
Yeah.
Right?
The Many Lives of Psy.
Yeah. We are going to quickly do a reactional, which is a live stream inside of a live stream. It's our chance to sit down with the creator of a game that we just spent a couple sessions playing, talking about what we thought about that game. Today, we were talking about Defy the Gods by Chrys. Chrys also goes by Hectic Electron. Defy the Gods is coming back to Kickstarter probably on the 10th of June. If you're watching this before then, if you're watching it after then, go buy the game because it's well funded and everything's going great. Chrys, give everybody the elevator pitch for Defy the Gods.
Thank you. I will. Defy the Gods is a queer sword and sorcery adventure romance set in fantasy ancient Mesopotamia. You are adventurers in a world where the gods want to destroy you and the city rulers want to push you to the margins. And if that sounds too real, in this game, you have a way of fighting back against them, as Dumu definitely showed in spades. So yeah, it's sword and sorcery archetypes intersecting with queer archetypes and exploring the rich space there at that crossroads.
Cool. Love it. I took over from Sarah a little bit. Sarah, you want to walk us around the horn for what people's thoughts were? You can start.
Hey everybody, tell us your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions. I'll go first. I really liked this game. I loved the idea of the like glowing and burning successes and how like you could like you go too far, you know what I mean? And like it's still you still get a good thing out of it, but it added like watching Doomu sort of transcend the character based on like the way that the dice rolled was so cool, and I think just kind of accelerates that individual character development in a way that I don't know if I've ever like super experienced in a game. Like it's one thing to gain XP as you fail, it's another thing to like ascend to godhood when you roll too high. So that was really, really cool to see play out. I love the heart system and being able and like reading through like the heart moves of being able to give hearts or cashing in hearts to gain new epithets and all of that, to really like bring not only the characters together but the world together, because you can give hearts to other npcs, other places, and so I really liked how interconnected that made everything feel. Every interaction mattered, and could like be called on in the future, versus like just like, oh yeah, there's this guy, you don't really need to care about him, right? Like it's I really liked that it gave weight to every interaction that we had, which is like just a really cool feeling. Those are my like, I could go on forever, but those are my two big hitters. So thank you, Chris. I really enjoyed this game.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
Richard, what are your thoughts and feelings, bro?
Man, the immortal moves are so kick-ass, Chris. I really wish we'd gotten to like beseech a force, but like in 3 sessions, it's hard to rack up that many hearts. I would love to play it out to see like beseech a force come into play a little bit more. And I love those Doom moves. They do such cool things with the mechanics. They sort of overpower you in a really cool way, by just kind of marking everything up to a 3, but kind of taking away some of your agency. It reminds me of one of those things that goes back to the early days of the very first Swords and Sorcery game, D&D, where people kept trying to make alignment important and changing alignment important, and it always fell flat. And this just really, but it was a really cool way in which like, oh, you get a cool thing, but you're losing some agency. And that also just does a beautiful thing with like, you're losing some agency, but there's this really cool, powerful thing that's happening to you. But it feels really cool because you're picking when to, with that Doom move, you're picking when to risk having a Doom move happen to you, or acquiring a Doom move, not having it happen to you. So it's just really freaking cool. But like we really hadn't gotten to play with the immortal moves too much yet, but I was really loving the way they showed up this session. So
awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
I loved it. I was super excited. And then like once I realized you could just, oh cool. And this is the thing about ruin moves or doom moves in this game. Like, but having played Apocalypse Keys and getting to play around with that for the first time, like ruin moves, I remember the first time like Sherry played one on our stream with Ray, and I was like, and you just get to do that? Like they do feel, because you know exactly what's going to happen. I really love the question touch on this, at least for mine. I don't know if everybody gets those kind of great reflective questions on all theirs, but like basically like, how does your god feel about the fact that you're siphoning their power? Or one of the one I didn't take was like, if you serve 2 masters, where you find another god that's going to give you some power also too, like and it really drives that relationship for this one particularly home, and it felt really resonant. But like, you always have to then be like, cool, you have to reflect on the fact that you did this really potentially fucked up thing. Even if it's a cool thing, even if it's good for the people around you, there is still that kind of questioning moment that was really for the vessel brought to bear, which is just a really strong way to continue to do that. And then like knowing that essentially like when you take that third one, you've essentially like your god is like done with you and you're kind of done with them. Like you're essentially kind of in the driver's seat at that point in time. And you may have entirely lost touch with your humanity until you take new epithets. But like, like that.
I mean, if you only have 3 epithets and then you overwrite them all, you just slide that character to the GM.
Oh yeah, that they slide over. Yeah. Cool. That's good to know.
But you can get more epithets. You can kind of extend your lifespan by getting more.
So that's the reason to not just burn through. No, that's great. That's good to know. I was curious about that, because that's the thing. You've become essentially one of the cruel forces of the world.
Mhm.
But it felt like that in play. Like it felt like, yes, I'm doing good things, but I am doing them by ripping power away from something else. Like, and I am removing agency of things that might seek to do it for me, but that doesn't make it good for me to do it to them. Right. Like, and like the vessel, I like there is a level of like, a slight level of asymmetry in the way that some of the moves are done. They overall work the same way, and there's a good level of bounce. So I don't want that people hear that as a like, oh, they're just. But like the vessel ramped up really quick because even when I'm wounded, if I'm using one of my moves, I'm always rolling at full bonus, and if I'm using my 2, the likelihood I'm going to roll over 10 is high. Like it's not a non-existent like statistical edge case. I'm on the verge of doing that a lot of the time, which is interesting because it also lets you choose to use hearts to even push it up into that if that's what you really need to have happen at that point in time. And then once you have that move, you can quickly move back up if you want to, or you can decide to not do powerful things. But it is super tempting, especially in a short arc, to do it. Like it was but it felt a little like spotlight steely this time around, which I didn't like. But that's
It's a big move,
yeah.
but
I
it was a good
loved
time
it.
for
I
it.
loved every second of it.
Yeah.
Like as like sitting like across from it, I loved how it like immediately upped the ante. And even though like did not have like a move comparable to it, it created such like big ripples in the game to kind of like spin off of that it was like it felt very cool to like be playing next to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna make a tunnel that's gonna take us right to where we need to go. Shit. Like
Yeah.
let's do all the things we need to do. Like it was such a great accelerant for like narrative and character choices, even though like it wasn't my choice to like do the big move, you know?
Yeah.
It did set you up to have the sword with the
Oh
lightning
yeah.
coming off it.
Like
So
so
that was
sick.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, once I realized once we established that narrative bit, I was just like, cool, how do I get that sword in Sarah's hands before the end of this session?
You made it
Give me
happen.
that blood.
I was like, I really hoped we get to just bounce the fucking light off of it. And so like the way it was like everything I could have possibly wanted that to be. Even just handing it over to you to decide what to do with it, right? Like
Yeah.
I even looked through like the sailors moves have a lot of like really cool MacGuffin-y stuff also where you can pull like just items of power from your travels up, which is like these huge narrative swings, which in a game where you've done the communal world building together, those Doom moves really bring you back into a cool writer's room space because you're getting to define because you're challenging one of the pillars that you've created, you're getting to help reshape the world in play. And at their best, PBTA games provide this really open flow for that, but they oftentimes are on a lower stakes level, right? Like we're just kind of talking through it and there's that, but this is literally like you are deciding what part of the world to embody, what pillar to still like, what part of divinity is touching you. And then lots of times now that's just a thing you can act on, right? So like it pushes things into an almost belonging outside belonging pillars play space of control that you just don't see PBTA games always hit, and I think it does it really well. And so yeah, great, I had a blast.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean I'd play again. So
I would play with you all again in a heartbeat. This was wild. I can't believe earlier tonight I was thinking, how will I make this all go off the rails? Because
you were like, these guys will do it.
Yeah.
It is hard, like when people are rolling really well, like it's hard to be like, what are we gonna do? Because like hard moves are oftentimes the currency of that. But I was like, just the small thing of there's a crack in the earth and things are starting to fall in, like immediately pushed us into, well, shit, we've got to. It's a small thing, but we just got to figure out how to get to the end of this. It was great.
Yeah.
Any other? Anybody before we close out? Anybody have any questions or anything? Besides, where can you people find this game?
I want to say thank you guys for being awesome and playing your characters to the hilt. I just really loved what a constant, like wheeler and dealer Callum was, and Sai's kind of wide-eyed, what is that unusual approach to everything, while also slipping seamlessly into these assumed roles, and Dulu's love affair with this god that did not keep you from betraying them completely, because that's what the story needed. So I just thanks you guys for awesome characters.
Thanks for running it for us. It was so fun.
Chrys, I've wanted to play this with you since the first time I saw you running this at other conventions, and we kept running at the same time.
Likewise.
So, yeah, I could never get to the table. So
yeah, likewise. So I'm glad to get a chance to play with you guys. Yeah.
I'm
awesome.
I'm super excited. Really want folks to go support the game, go back the game. If you find yourself right now in a situation where, because lots of people are, you can't back things on Kickstarter, sharing the game and getting the word out is 100% one of the most helpful things you can do if you can't support directly monetarily. And remember, you only need one copy of a game at your table to play it. So get together with your play group, think about how you want to do it. There's some really cool things in the game. Can't wait to see what happens. Sarah, you want to take us out?
Yeah, I do. You've been watching us. This is +1. Sign up for Zine.Club and get cool games every single month. Do it because I'm your stepdad and I told you to. Other than that, I don't think we have any upcoming streams that I'm aware of. So just keep tuned in at like Blue Sky, all the places you can find us. +1 EXP. Check out the shop. Check out Defy the Gods on Kickstarter, June 10th ish. And other than that, I'm gonna do this at the screen until we go away.
We did.
Bye.
I'll just say this as we're exiting out. No one can see us, so you can stop waving if you want, but they can hear me and you. We did just cross 3,000 followers on YouTube, so that's fun. That's the thing we did.
Woo!
Go us. Bye.
Go us.